Welcome everyone, here we are with another match of the Minish Cap Randomizer. Yes, the Minish Cap Randomizer tournament to be exact. This round won Rom-Steïn versus FuzzyGames. Don't worry, everything is fine. Rom-Steïn is about to load the ROM. We're on a 15-minute delay, so everything you see right now happened 15 minutes ago. I brought to you iBot and Myth. How are you guys doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good. I heard Hayden was supposed to be here, but since he isn't, I've figured I'd not let Myth do another solo on these, since he's already doing way too much commentary.
Yeah, Hayden overslept. But yeah, so we've got, for today's race, we've got Rom-Steïn and FuzzyGames. So, yeah, Rom-Steïn is a rando runner, has been playing for the last couple of weeks. They've been in the community for a while doing tracking and recently got into racing the randomizer. FuzzyGames is brand new to the randomizer. They're an any percent runner. And I believe the same as Martin, they've done only a couple of randomizer seeds for practice. So again, it's similar to yesterday's race. This is going to be a test of rando knowledge versus game execution.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I know that I myself am more on the rando knowledge than game execution side of that divide, but we'll see how it goes for these two.
Yeah, we are going to be starting ever so slightly later, so we're going to be sat on this starting screen for a little bit. Yeah, so what kind of seed will this be? Because we've been having a few jet seeds recently. Oh, okay, and we're off.
No,
okay, we're not off.
Started early. But yeah. Yes, the timer is accurate too when they start.
Okay, so Fuzzy might be doing something here. He might be doing the RNG manip at the start of the seed. If he's used to doing the any percent run, and you do. Okay, he's done that wrong because he did an extra roll. He's not doing what I thought he was. Okay, there's an RNG manip that you could do right at the start of the any percent run that it looked like he was going to try and do, but he just reset the game incorrectly.
And the RNG for what is manip by that? Like...
the manip is to get a blue rupee out of the first pot. Huh. Okay, straight away we've got a sword. And yes, chat, this is a myth seed, so we've got the first myth seed of the tournament. Let's see how horrible this one's going to be.
And the early sword leads to the Rupee Cave, which one of the features of Rupee Mania. Looks like we got a cane and a wallet as well as a Tingle trophy, so we can check Tingle.
So the clove's red because I chose it to be red. The randomizer you can choose to link to have any tunic color you wish. You get the Windows color picker and get to choose anything. Grip ring immediately on Tingle there.
This has to be the earliest Tingle on any seed on these settings so far in race, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Cane and Tingle trophy in that first cave, immediately leading to possibly an important item on Tingle. We don't know if the grip ring is actually required. We do need to have a map
more
check
likely
first.
To be required than not, since it's helpful if you want to go up to Cave of Flames, and it's required to go up to Pillars of Winds. So
straight away we've got route divergence going on. Rom is going for the he's gone over to Eastern Hills and he's checking the southern checks, whereas Fuzzy started out going into town first, but now Fuzzy's decided that he has his sword to get that cave done in the cave that's next to Link's house. So we pick up our Butterfly is the first bow that has been picked up.
Yeah, bow butterfly, really nice to be able to shoot arrows that fast, even if you don't know the boots cancelling stuff that apparently some people do. So I guess Fuzzy would be one of the people who actually know how to boots cancel.
Yeah, absolutely. It just mitigates the execution that you have to do with doing the boot cancelling, because boot cancelling does take a lot of effort to get good at. So yeah, if you pick up your Butterfly, then you can just completely ignore having to do any boot cancelling. Boot cancelling is where you tap your boots immediately after firing an arrow, and it cancels your bow animation, which lets you fire arrows even faster than normal. And the bow butterfly has exactly the same effect. It cancels the bow animation after you fired an arrow so that you can fire arrows as quickly as possible.
And there were bombs in the shop's attic chest, so those are going to be very helpful. You never really appreciate how much bombs just do for getting around until you don't get them early in a seed.
Yeah, Fuzzy's gone over to Minish Woods, but also realizes he doesn't have his bombs to be able to go and check that southern spots, so he's going to have to go back to town and pick up his bombs from the shop before he makes his way back to Minish Woods. Okay, we're going to get an early Simon Simulator check. Simon Simulator isn't something that people like to do fairly early on because it takes over a minute to do.
But it could always have your gust jar.
Yeah, I think we have seen it be have people's progression quite often. Or if it isn't progression, then it's a fairly important item. Pretty much every single seed has had it, right?
I think yesterday's seed had anything on Simon's, but...
Yeah, so we got Fuzzy going checking the tingle trees in the Northfield. That's something you also want to check as early as possible. There are 5 checks here that can be done fairly quickly.
Nimbus said yesterday they had remote bombs. Remote bombs were in Deep Shrine yesterday.
Yeah, it was
on the pre-regular hard piece.
Yeah, there was another seed. I think it was 2 days ago. It was remote bombs on.
It could. And
then there was also another one where
it was the gust jar.
Yeah, it was also the gust jar. So yeah, we've had some important items on there. So we've got a book in the tingle trees.
Doesn't do anything on its own, but Yllari could always be required. Or we could have the legendary vanilla flipper seed. Rom-Steïn continuing with the slower, thorough checking of every available location. Doing
very
school basement early.
Making sure that they check every single spot in town before heading off anywhere else. Fuzzy, on the other hand, is kind of avoiding things in town because town checks do take a long time to do, and he has the items needed to be able to check other locations in the game, so he's going to do that. Heading over to Southern Vale Falls, he has the option here to then move down into Minish Woods. But unfortunately, he didn't pick up his bomb bag when he was in town.
Yeah, town checks did have some important stuff, like the bomb bag. So... Even if he gets to Minish Village this way, since he won't have the bombs and he won't have beaten Deepwood Shrine, he doesn't actually get to leave the village to the left. Not that he could go much farther there without bombs, but it's the kind of routing that if you go into the woods this way, it's kind of slow to get back without bombs.
Yeah, the way Fuzzy's going now, it's going to be to his advantage to to do a save scum in Minish Woods, because when he gets to the end of Minish Woods and doesn't find any progression, then it's going to be a long trek to get back out. But he's going to check the Minish Fairy on the way there, and this is a good check to get done, because if you get a late cane in a seed, and you can very often orphan this location, and if it's got something important, then that really hurts.
At the same time, we did see the garden heart piece on Rom-Steïn's side and didn't have anything, so only 3 items locked in the force out there.
Okay, we found our first bottle in the beginning of Minish Woods.
Yeah, bottle, of course, unlocking mainly the mountain and some more town checks.
Unfortunately, without the... we do have a sword and spin attack, so we do have access to Trilby, and that bottle does open up Mount Crenel.
Yeah.
We do need a bomb bag on Fuzzy before he can do pretty much any of the checks in Mount Crenel. But yeah, if Rom goes over to Minish Woods and picks up his bottle, then he's going to be able to do a bunch of checks in Mount Crenel. We haven't had a map check from either of our runners yet, so we don't really know what valuable locations want to be checked first.
The bottle also, of course, does unlock a few checks in town, so maybe that will make him clear those out and find his bomb bag on the way.
Okay, what Fuzzy wants to do here is to save. Yeah, he's doing it now, so he knows how to do this save scum. So you save at this point, and then you can go into Minish Village and check these next 2 items. If they're complete junk, then you can just reset your game. It'll put you at the very beginning of Minish Woods. And then you completely avoid having to do any backtracking here. Okay, so that first item is junk. What are we going to find on the second item?
Meanwhile, Rom-Steïn finds the lantern in town, so town continuing to have good items.
Yeah, town is the play. Okay, Fuzzy has seen that he's got junk on those items, so he can just reset his game. He nearly saved there, but yeah, he's
nearly went for the quick warp, but...
And he's back at the beginning of Minish Woods and cuts out all of that backtracking, so he can go back to town.
Still a ways back, since the fast ways to town still requires bombs, but...
So, what does Rom want to do now with that lantern? He's got bomb bag and lantern and cane. Really, the lantern doesn't really give him much right now.
Well, I'd go check Grimblade at this point. He hasn't gone there yet, so he can get those.
Yeah, that is right. He hasn't gone to the courtyard. I don't think we've seen anyone go to the courtyard just yet.
I think
there's our map check.
Fuzzy stopped at the Tingle Trees.
So the non-required dungeons for this seed are going to be Royal Crypt and Temple of Droplets.
3 vanilla elements in there.
Yeah, so all Kinstones are going to be required again, since Fortress of Winds and Palace of Winds are required dungeons. And then we've also got Cave of Flames and Deeper Shrine as other required dungeons as well. So we're kind of looking at seeing the first 2 dungeons, Deeper Shrine and Cave of Flames, be done fairly soon in this seed, and then...
Especially Cave of Flames, since we already have both the Griffling and the Cane to go there quickly.
Yeah, unfortunately none of our runners do have the ability to go to Cave of Flames right now, because Fuzzy needs to find his bomb bag in town, and then Rom needs to get his bottle in Minish Woods. But once they find those respective items, then they
going kind of towards that by probably.
Yeah.
Well, checking lower wave forts first. Meanwhile, Fuzzy is using this spot for some reason. Where's he going?
So actually on this seed, the lantern is a pretty weak item, because the lantern is a required item for doing Temple of Droplets and for also doing Royal Crypt. which are both of the non-required dungeons this seed. So out of all of the required items for beating the seeds, the lantern's probably one of the weakest here.
It could, of course, always be required for Dark Hero Castle, so we don't know that it's useless.
Yeah, it isn't completely useless because the lantern's also required to do Palace of Winds. It's not required to complete Palace of Winds, but by logic doesn't ever make you have to go up Veil Falls or into Cloud Tops without your lantern. There is one dark room right at the beginning of Veil Falls, which is very trivial to go through. It's a straight line room that you can just walk through without the lantern, but yeah, logic never expects you to be able to do that.
Fuzzy is doing some taunt checks, so he should be picking up his bomb back sooner. Maybe.
Yep, so if you've only played the vanilla game and never seen this randomizer, what settings we have on at the moment is Open Fusions. So what Open Fusions does is when you go up to NPCs and do a Kinstone fusion with them, it makes a effect happen in the overworld, be that it moves a tree out of the way of a path, or it makes a chest appear, or it spawns a golden enemy.
Or it allows you to go to Bellaria and pick up the remote bombs. Which
yeah, there are 100 of these in the entire game, and what Open Fusions does is it marks them all as completed at the very start of the seed, so you don't actually have to go up to any NPCs and do that. It's all available from the very beginning of the game.
And the other settings that we changed from the default settings for the randomizer is Rupee Mania, which shuffles the rupee spots spread around the world into the item pool, making for some very dense item locations, like the treasure cave we saw at the very beginning.
Now, both of our runners are avoiding their items, so that
yeah, but they are also both doing checks the other has done, and
yeah,
are probably getting closer to the item they need.
I mean, Rom's not doing a bad play right now. Because they have their bomb bag, they can go through Minish Woods backwards, which does save a little bit of time over doing it the regular path. But it just hurts them because their bottle, which is their progression item at this point, is at the entrance of Minish Woods. So they're going to have to go through all the way through the Minish Woods backwards before they're going to pick up their bottle.
But would you really want to just leave after finding a bottle, or would you still want to go up to the Minish Village anyways? Like, you'd probably just keep going anyways to see if there's anything else, and then head back towards Montcrenner using that bottle.
Yeah, I don't know, recently
especially since Rom-Steïn has been routing very thoroughly.
Okay, we can see the runners' like face cams, and Rom just nodded very happily then when he picked up his bottle. So he knows where he's going.
Yeah, I don't know if he had anything else left, or if he knew that that check had to be something, so...
Yeah, so the default settings for the randomizer is actually no fusions, where fusions are actually disabled with NPCs and you can't do any of them. But that is boring, so we switched to open fusions because that's more fun. Yep, so we're going to have our first play into up Mount Crenel now. An example of one of the Rupee Mania spots is that there's normally a red rupee where that piece of a heart is, but it's a randomized location, so there's going to be a piece of heart there. Also, there's a very key right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a Castor
also
Wilds
Castor
Kinstone. That is the first Kinstone of this seed. So the only fusions which aren't automatically completed are the Golden Kinstones. They're required to reach certain dungeons. So on our trackers, we do have 3 different Golden Kinstones that we can get. There is a Veil Falls Kinstone, there are 3 Castor Wilds Kinstones, and 5 Cloudtops Kinstones. To get to Fortress of Winds at the end of Castor Wilds, we need to get all 3 of the Castor Wilds Kinstones to be able to move give them to the totems at the end of Castor Wilds and make our way through the Wind Ruins. To get to Palace of Winds, we need the Veil Falls Kinstone to be able to go up Veil Falls and reach Cloudtops. Then in Cloudtops, we need to use all 5 of our Cloudtops Kinstones to be able to activate the giant tornado that will let us go to the Wind Tribe and into Palace of Winds. Yes, so basically every path is open except for the 2 that I just explained now.
Yeah, it's there's also no, like, I'm not sure how much the story gets the vanilla game, but those things are also disabled. We didn't watch the intro at the very beginning, instead just picking up the 2 items in the Smith's house. So those things are also changed in the randomizer to make it faster and more enjoyable experience.
Okay, so Fuzzy's gonna dip into the school garden.
We already saw this before.
Yeah, he's already gone in there once, but he didn't see what the item was at the back. Right, what kind of routing is Rob going to do here? So he's going to use his bombs here to blow up the dust. So if you don't have the Gust Jar, you have to use your bombs to be able to destroy the dust here. He needs to keep an eye on how many bombs he has left, because he actually only has 1 bomb right now.
Yeah, and that's why he skipped the Bombable Cave that you usually get on the way up here, but you need to use 1 bomb to open it, and then more bombs inside to actually get the checks if you don't have the cave.
Also in the vanilla game, at this point, you would go and get that green seed and then put it into the ground, and then you would water it using the hot spring water. But he's picked up his grip ring, which means that he can climb up Mount Crenel without having to do that, which is one of the great things about the grip ring when you come to Mount Crenel. It saves some time over having to do that short little side quest.
Yeah, having the grip ring to go up the mountain is definitely much nicer than doing the Randomizer. Meanwhile, Fuzzy is going for the fountain, it looks like, so...
yeah, he is going for
all of the checks there because you need a cape for the small shell? Or he can see the hard keys. Yeah, he can see the hard keys, but if it's an item, you can't get it.
Yeah, he will have to come back later with either the flippers or the cape to be able to get over the water at the back of the fountain and reach one of the chests. But he will be able to see what the visible item is if the cape is required or not. But he has his cane, so he can get one of the items in here. There are 3 items in this fountain. Yeah, so I believe the Sphere 0 of this randomizer, which basically means the locations that can be reached with 0 items, is actually quite small. It's only, I want to say, about 10 locations, and they're really close to the beginning. It's Link's house, the portal to the Wind Tribe, 1 or 2 checks in town, and like then Tingle Trees. But there are lots of items that open up progression in this game, and you're definitely absolutely going to be given something right at the start that is going to point you in the direction that you need to head. Okay, Fuzzy's got everything that he can in the fountain now, so he's going to have to bail out and make a decision what he wants to do next. again, another healthy seed. We're 20 minutes in, and we've already got 7 hearts on our runners. Now, hearts don't normally mean too much in this randomizer, since you get fully revived every single time you pick up a heart piece, so you can... it's very rare that you get onto low health, and you can also get fairies and bottles to keep you alive. However, there is one check in this game that requires you to have 10 hearts, and that's the dojo in Lake Hylia. He will only give you an item once you have reached 10 hearts. So we're basically going to make sure that we pick up all of the heart pieces and heart containers that we find until we reach that 10 heart point, and then we can kind of stop caring about that, because 10 hearts is more than enough to be able to play through the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's still kind of nice to have more health for the very end of the game between the Dark Knights and Voltage being a troll. It can be, especially if you don't find all the bottles and don't have extra safeties that way.
Yeah, Fuzzy hasn't found his bomb bag. It is back in town. Yeah, he's come over to Mount Crenel, but there isn't anything he can do here until he gets his bomb bag. Do we remember where the bomb bag was?
The bomb bag in town was in the Stockwell attic.
It was in Stockwell's attic, so yeah, he's got his cane. He can go to the Stockwell's attic. I just hope he hasn't marked on his tracker that he'd cleared the shop when he reached it, because he didn't actually go up into the attic, he just went to the front and saw the items there. If you right-click your shop on your tracker when you do that, he had his cane, so he had access to go up to the roof, so he might have accidentally mismarked that location off and doesn't know that that's what he's missing.
Rom-Steïn did run out of bombs before the...
He's got his bottle!
Here.
He can do the glitch! So, okay, there's a glitch here which isn't actually banned under the glitchless rule set, where you can get a bottle with water and dump it on the ground in that room, and it
or you can
activate...
just find bombs in that chest
okay.
and do it that way.
He lucked out here and managed to find some more bombs.
Yeah, I've done exactly that before. Coming here with one bomb and relying on a bomb drop in one of the chests.
Fuzzy's having a hard think right now. What am I missing?
Couldn't he go up to Cave of Flames even without a bomb bag with grip ring and cane?
Yeah, that is right. He does have his grip ring, so he can go up to this. He can reach this beanstalk that Rom's just hit, which has a sword and the sword beam.
And a book, which I believe is the second we've seen.
Yeah, he's picked up 2 of his books so far. So Rom is going the long way round to Cave of Flames right now, but he's
no, he did
not
already
going to go through the
enter
full
Cave
way.
of Flames and set his quick up there.
Oh, he did, right? Yeah. So he's gonna, but he's going just to pick up this chest, and then once he's got this, he's gonna do a quick walk to bail out of here and get back to Cave of Flames. And yeah, Fuzzy does actually have the ability to go into Cave of Flames right now if he wanted to. He has the grip ring to climb up, and he's got the cane to also jump through the shortcuts to get to the entrance.
And it's always possible that there is another one back here. We haven't seen one yet, but...
And Rom picks up his remote bombs. Remote bombs don't affect the logic at all, but they're really handy for being able to use your bombs faster and more easily.
Remote bombs are one of the best items. between using their own dark nets and party bomb strats or something. They really help out a lot.
Oh, getting trolled a bit there by the bob-bombs. Yeah, Fuzzy's really unsure of what he wants to be doing now. He is looking for his bombs. That is the item he's looking for, and I do suspect that he's marked off his shop on the tracker when he looked in through the front door, but he doesn't realize that he's missing a hidden item up in the roof. Even if he doesn't have his bombs, he can still go to Cave of Flames, and he can basically full clear the Cave of Flames -1 item, and he can see what that visible item is. We just saw it from Rom. I was looking away. Did you see what the...
It was a shield.
It was a shield. So the shield is a fairly important item. It opens up 2 locations in the game, but other than that, you don't need it. And Rom finds the red sword. The red sword's such a huge item to find in this game. So there is a cloning mechanic in this game where there are certain puzzles that require you to clone the link, and as soon as you hit your red sword, that gives you the ability to create a single clone.
And that single clone does allow them to go to the Western Woods, which is one of the locations that has a lot of checks with Rubomania enabled.
Yeah, in this version of the randomizer, there's about 40 items that are located in a single area in Western Woods, which is the western side of Hyrule Field. Yeah, he's also slashing the pots there, really wishing that he had Pot Breaker. So Pot Breaker is one of the sword scrolls that you can acquire in this game, and it is just so useful to have because you just sword slash to break rocks and break pots.
So I don't actually remember where Rom-Stein's white sword was, or green sword or whatever. Or if going to Cave of Flames would with fuzzy access to Western Woods.
Rom got accidentally jumped back into the minecart. The minecart has such a huge hitbox, and you try and run past it, and it's like, no, you touch the minecart, you jump back in, and you have to go on the ride again. Yeah, the white sword was at the top of the beanstalk, at the top of Mount Krenel.
So if Fuzzy does decide to climb the mountain, he could get all those items checking Western Woods afterwards. And potentially find the second bomb back there.
Yeah, he can, was there a second bomb bag?
Well, we don't know, but there's 40 checks there. And there's 4 or 5 bomb bags in this game.
Yeah, there are 4 bomb bags. So Rom's having to do this room without a great spin. With the great spin, this 2 fight becomes incredibly easy to do. The speedrunners do know how to do this room with only the spin attack.
Well, remote bombs also make it much faster than otherwise.
Yeah,
so...
Wait, I thought Fuzzy did get his grip ring. Did he just get the grip ring now? Because
the grip ring was on Tingle, right?
Yeah, it was on Tingle. I thought he immediately right at the start used the Tingle trophy and got his.
Thought so too.
Because he's got his grip ring marked on.
Maybe he just forgot to mark it on his... I don't know.
He's just disabled his tracker on his stream, so he can't see what he thinks he has. Oh, he talked to Tingle a second time. Yeah.
And now he's going to the shop attic, so he will get his bomb back.
He hasn't pushed the block out. The book.
Okay, but the fact that he's here means he's thinking about...
Yeah, so he is on the right line now. He is on the right path. Yeah, Rom getting trolled a bit by these roller bites. If you can get super lucky, the roller bites will all go in a line there, and then you can just knock them all into the hole straight away. And he nearly had them all set up to do that, but they just slightly moved out of the way. Yeah, so right at the start of the seed, we did have the grip ring on Tingle, so they did both talk to him right at the start.
Yeah, Tingle was really early this seed and actually had a helpful item.
A required item, I believe. Well, possibly.
Well,
actually,
we know it's required.
Because.
Right, Palace is.
Oh, it is a required required item to beat the seed, but I don't know if it was required for progression through to Cave of Flames, because they picked up their sword beam in.
At the beanstalk.
Oh no, they had the cane from the very beginning. Don't worry.
Yeah, they had the cane. Like, but even if they didn't have the cane, yes, there was the sword beam at the beanstalk.
Fuzzy's inspecting his bomb bag thoroughly. Oh, Rom got the fast cycle there, managing to walk quickly across 2 platforms at the same time.
Yeah, has to do this from the slow way since he doesn't have the cape.
Yeah, Cave of Flames basement without the cape sucks. It's so boring. This is completely the vanilla way of doing it. So anyone that's played the vanilla game will know, will have played through the basement just like this. But if you have the cape, you can just completely skip all the platforms and the tornadoes and just jump all over the place.
Yeah, there's a couple routes people do with the cape for the big lava room, but all of them are way faster than the vanilla way.
Alright, Fuzzy's gonna make use of his bombs and check out some of the bomb chicks in town. I think Vanilla Cave of Flames loses at least a minute over using the cape.
Of course, since they don't have the Ocarina yet, leaving and going back here later is probably even slower if they don't find that.
Rom did pick up the his boss keys, so he could have opted to kill Gleerock before doing this, and then...
Yeah, I'm not sure which of Mapper combos he has found.
I think he's already picked up both. It looks like he picked up both there.
Yeah, so it doesn't...
Okay, so we're going to see our first boss fight at 36 minutes in, Gleerock. So Gleerock's a really straightforward boss. He's got 3 cycles. You just fire your cane at his back. His back will fly up into the air and make him vulnerable. Oh, he's getting super trolled here by the fire. Yeah, Gleerock is a fairly awkward boss to fight, because when he gets set on fire, it just completely throws you out of sync with how you want to be doing this fight.
Of course, jumping into the lava does remove the fire from you.
Yeah, It's slightly faster to mash your direction buttons when you have been set on fire, as every direction input you do slightly reduces the length of the fire. So if you just spam in circles on your controller whilst you're on fire, you get it out much faster than if you jump into the lava and then have to respawn. Yeah, unfortunately, he doesn't have the bow to do the bow strats on Blue Rock. Obviously, in the vanilla game, you don't have the bow at this point for doing this boss, but in the randomizer, you could have the bow at this point, and you can start doing damage to his back way before his neck falls down, and you can walk across his neck to get to his back. Okay, so Rom's on the final cycle now. And just does 5 sword hits, and then this fight is over.
And Rom-Steïn getting his first element at just under 40 minutes. Decently quick, but
yeah, honestly, Vanilla Cape was probably one of the worst randomizer seeds you can get. Oh, okay, there's his map. Yeah, so he did all of the basement not knowing where the map was, and then he got all of his chests and then was like, I still don't have my map, it's on Blue Rock. Yeah, because in the vanilla game the cape was so late into the game, it was literally in the last dungeon before Dark Harbor Castle. The game kind of doesn't expect you to do a lot of the dungeons or puzzles with the cape. So when you do have the cape in the randomizer really early on, the entire game's pretty broken. And there's our third book.
a lot of the vanilla placements are kind of bad, but Cape is probably the worst one by far, since it just does a lot of things in a lot of places.
I think one of the least bad vanilla spots would be Vanilla Gust Jar, because you do kind of go into Deepwood Shrine at pretty much every single seed.
Yeah, especially if you find the lantern, the Gust Jar only really locks 2 spots in Deepwood Shrine, depending on key layout.
To be honest, vanilla flippers wouldn't be too bad because you can go through a lot of seeds without the flippers. They're not a required item to beat any dungeon. By logic, you're expected to have the flippers before you go and fight Octo, but you can do pretty much every single item in Temple of Droplets without the flippers. You can use the cape to jump over Lake Hylia to get to Temple of Droplets, and then everything else in there doesn't require the flippers.
And it turns out the shield is possibly better than usual the seed, since the scrub, one of the 2 checks the scrubs unlocked, had the graveyard key, which we don't know we need, but does give access to the Royal Crypt and a few checks outside. So that's like 6
And
checks.
there's a bow. That is one of the items we are looking for. We absolutely need the bow to be able to beat this game. So what other items are we looking for right now? We need 2 more swords to upgrade our sword to the blue sword and then to the 4 sword. And then we're also going to need the Gust Jar to beat the Deepwood Shrine and also to beat Vati at the end of the game. We need the Mitts to do Fortress of Winds. And we need the Cape to do Palace of Winds and also to make our way through Dark Hyrule Castle.
And then we need all the kinstones.
And then every single kinstone, which is it's 9.
Yeah, well, we have 1, so there's 8 left. But yeah. So, out of those, like, what was it, 12 to 15 items, how many do you think are in Western Woods?
Oh, we're definitely going to find at least 1. Yeah, so...
At least one is...
At least 1, I'm sure of it. I mean, yesterday was completely barren. There was nothing in Western Woods. Vanilla Ocarina isn't bad at all, depending on if Fortress is required.
Well, Vanilla Ocarina means Fortress is not a required dungeon, since it's
that's right. Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of awful.
Yeah, that is awful.
Yeah, Vanilla Ocarina is still better than Ocarina and Palace, which we also had.
Depends if Palace is required or not.
Yeah, what was the seed? Was it 2 days ago? The Ocarina in Fan Loop in non-required Palace?
Yeah, that was 2 days ago. Yeah, it was in Bluesy and Hayden's Jet Seed. There was yeah, it was the Ocarina was at the top of Palace. Basically, everything that it didn't have at the end of the seed was at the end of Palace. Yeah, so in the randomizer settings we have, we randomize all the freestanding rupees. Now, that might sound incredibly daunting, but this game doesn't actually have too many freestanding rupees. There's this area of Western Woods. There's a cave right at the beginning of Link's house, and then a couple spots in Cranel, a cave in Vale Falls, and then some dungeons, but that's pretty much it. It doesn't add too many extra locations to the game, but it adds a bunch of spots because these caves have 15 items in them. And this is why Western Woods is such an absolute jackpot of a location that you want to go as soon as you get your red sword and can go through the cloning puzzle to get here. Yeah, Rom's about to go up the beanstalk here. This beanstalk has 16 items.
Yeah, and yes, there are some myths digging caves that have both freestanding rupees and likes in them.
So we pick up our next sword. We have our blue sword now at 45 minutes. We're just looking for one more sword now. We also picked up 2 kinstones. So Rom's now got his Vale Falls kinstone, and he picked up 2 Cloudtops kinstones in Western Woods.
So for next steps, we would want the Gustra before heading into Deepwood Shrine. You would need boots or cape to caster.
We don't read what the text says on the
we are
golden
completely relying on Rom-Steïn to track them, or his auto-tracker.
Yeah, we use an auto-tracker that automatically marks items acquired in your inventory. So Rom's going to get hurt here because he's using his lantern to light those switches, but you can't actually use the lantern to activate this. You need to actually physically hit the switches.
I do not know, but that's kind of bad.
Yeah, the lantern puzzle only works in the first room of Deepwood Shrine, and also to break the vines on the barrel.
And there's the 3rd book for Rom-Steïn. So
yeah,
still needs Ocarina before
like,
can check
the
diary, but
yeah.
We already had required Tingle, can we make that?
Yeah, so light arrows aren't very good in this game in comparison to the other Legend of Zelda games. So if you've seen Ocarina of Time or Wind Waker, and even in even the Silver Arrows in A Link to the Past. They're amazing and pretty much one-shot every single enemy in the game. Like especially Dark Nuts in Wind Waker, you just light arrows them and they're not even an issue. In this game, the light arrows are useful in one room. It is one of the rooms in Fortress of Winds, because the only thing that the light arrows do is they one-shot Igors, and there's a fight where you fight 2 Igors, which is a really easy fight, and if you have the light arrows, it makes it even slightly easier. But other than that, the light arrows are pretty much useless. The only other effect light arrows have is that they can be used to break trees and pots and rocks when you fire a light arrow shot with them. So if you have a very unlucky seed, you could be given light arrows right at the beginning, and you have to use your light arrows to break the trees to be able to go over to Minish Woods at the very start.
And Rom-Steïn using the London key to get through here and head towards the lake. Not something we see all that often, since the cave or the Ocarina give access to this without using that. But
this is actually a required Lon Lon Ranch a Lon Lon Ranch key use. They have no other way of getting to the back end of Lon Lon Ranch right now. This is an incredibly rare thing that you have to do in the randomizer. Normally, if you have your flippers, if you have the flippers and the mitts, or if you have the cape, or if you have the ocarina, then you can get to Lake Hylia without having to use the Lon Lon Ranch key. But they haven't picked up any of these items. No, this is definitely looking like a myth seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rom's already on his blue sword, and Fuzzy's just picked up his green sword, which is the second sword. The blue sword is the 4th sword in the game. It's not the 4th sword. The 4th sword is the 5th sword.
Is the 5th sword. If you want to really confuse people, you start collectively referring to the green, red, and blue sword as the white sword.
I think we should just call the blue sword the Master Sword.
That... why?
I think we have a guide in the randomizer on how to, in the randomizer Discord, on how to generate your own seeds.
Yeah, Myth here did write a getting started guide for using a randomizer that includes how to generate seeds. So you can find out of that in our Discord server, which...
Yep, there is the link in chat for the randomizer Discord. So go in there, and if you go to randomize, Rando Resources, we have a resources section which you can go over. You go down to support and look at the installation guide and the FAQ to find out how to play the randomizer. Also, if you have any other issues, you can always post in Rando General, and there's lots of people in there that can help you out getting your games installed.
Or you can just DM Myth. Don't do that, but...
Yeah, this randomizer has just such ridiculous trolling potential. We've been trying to make a plan, though, but we can't actually decide what we want to troll you with because there's just so many different options we could go for. Okay, there's the Jabbernut for Rom. So the Jabbernut's not normally an item that's required because, well, you need it to enter Deepwood Shrine to be able to make the Minish walk out of the move out of the way to be able to get into Deepwood Shrine. If you also have the flippers, you can swim your way to Deepwood Shrine, so he's also moved out of the way if you have the flippers. So if you have your flippers, normally you don't ever see the Jabbernet, or if you do, it's a completely useless item. But we don't have our flippers yet, so we've just we've got access to Deepwood Shrine with the Jabbernet.
And we might never get our flippers since
and
they don't actually need to be required.
Yeah, Rom finds another kinstone in North Minish Woods on Syrup's Hut. That was another.
That was a Caster one.
It was another Caster Wilds kinstone. So they're only looking for one more Caster Wilds kinstone.
Except they have neither boots nor capes, so even if they have all the Caster kinstones, they can't do anything with them. Since they can't actually get through Caster Wilds to fuse those kinstones.
Yeah, I really hope that the flippers are going to be in Deepwood Shrine. That would be fantastic. Okay, so Fuzzy's making their way through Cave of Flames, and they just picked up their red sword, which is, again, a really important item to be picking up in this randomizer. He's going to be able to go to Western Woods once he's done Cave of Flames, and also pick up all of the items that Rom has picked up. So Rom's going to be making use of his Veilful's Kinstone and start making his way up Veilful's. So normally it's quite hard to tell who is winning in the randomizer, but currently it is looking like Rom is ahead. Oh, and there he picks up his flippers.
And is very angry about not having a required Jabbernet.
Yeah, so that just completely voided out the Jabbernet and made it not required.
Someone should go to his channel and clip that. That was a very nice reaction to that.
Yeah, so with randomizers, generally, if you look at the number of items someone has, that kind of tells you who is ahead. Though it is a bit more nuanced than that, and it's sometimes really difficult to tell who is winning until the last 10 minutes of the race.
Usually you have situations where someone has done some checks in one area and the other player has done checks in another area. And even if only one of them has actually found required items, they might still both go and do the area the other one has done.
Yeah.
But in this case, Fuzzy is pretty much just trailing behind what Rom-Steïn has already done.
Yeah, he's just following in Rom's footsteps right now. I'd say about 15 minutes behind.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so Rom's checking out the Veilful's Rupee Cave. This is absolutely loaded, and he finds his Ocarina. So that's also nulls the London Ranch key, because you could go up here without having to go to Lake Hylia, and there's your Ocarina, which gives you access to Lake Hylia without having to use the London Ranch key.
But more importantly, it's access to Yalari.
Yeah, there is access to Yalari. He has all 3 of his books. He has the Ocarina to get into the library, so he can give all of the books to the attendant, and he's got his cane, so he can shrink when he gets into the library. So hopefully we're going to see a Ocarina. We're going to see a Yalari check. Oh, there we see the dog food in Southern Veilful's.
Dog food, another fetch item. So what are Rom-Stein's options right now? He can go to the lake, obviously. He just got the flippers, so there's a few checks you can do there. I'm not sure what his hard count is actually, but...
I think if I was him, I would make my way to Deepwood. Deepwood's a required dungeon that he hasn't touched yet, so even though he doesn't have the Gust Jar to be able to full clear, he can make some decent progress in there and find out what is possibly locked behind the Gust Jar as well.
Yeah, depending on key layout, he might be able to do everything but one chest in the basement. No, two chests in the basement using that cape and the boss.
Yeah, but his decision for now is to go to Lake Hylia. He's going to go to the Librari Lake Check item, and we'll also see if he decides to do the sequence break. So when he gets out of this cave and is a Minish on the little island in the middle of the lake, he can choose to jump down off of this ledge, and he'll be a Minish in Lake Hylia. So he can do some of the Minish checks here. Yeah, so he's going to opt to do that. He's going to jump down here. Now he's a Minish in Lake Hylia. In the randomizer, we don't consider you to be able to do this because you're supposed to have the boots to be able to bonk into a tree here. He's going to go past this tree in a second. The tree on the right there. You're supposed to bonk into that tree to make it into a Minish portal so that you can shrink. Now, obviously, you need the boots to be able to do that. So he's being able to check these items without the boots.
Which obviously also means that the boots can't be here, but still need a couple other items.
Yeah, so if he finds anything here, he can deduce some important information about the logic of the randomizer and know that he's looking for... if he needs to look for the boots later on, he knows that they're not going to be locked behind whatever he finds here. Unfortunately, he doesn't actually need to acquire the boots at all, because the boots are only required to beat one dungeon, which is Royal Crypt, and it is a non-required dungeon for this seed.
The cape could also, of course, just be in Castle Wilds or Wind Ruins or Fortress of Gomod, so in that case, boots would be required.
Oh yeah, that is the case as well. Yeah, that room that he was just in really sucks if you don't have either the cape or the boots, because ice physics in this game are not very good. Link is very flighty and just flies all over the screen, and it's really hard to control him. If you had
the worst
cape,
part about the ice physics is when you just get onto the ice from normal ground, because then you just are going at full speed and it's really bad.
Yeah, you try and stop and your momentum just keeps on making you slide along. He doesn't find anything there.
Still has a fusion chest here in the Minish path, as well as being able to see what the cabin item is.
So he just did a quick warp there, which meant that he's... if he does a quick warp here, he's going to stay Minish. So that might... So you may think, oh, you're stuck now because there's no way of getting out. But if you actually walk up to this tree and go inside of it, he needs to go up to the front of it. You can press R and you can grow whilst the tree is still intact, and you can get out of the sequence break that you just did.
Yeah, otherwise doing that sequence break and actually going to the Minish wood check would softlock you, so it's kind of good that it allows that.
There is what looked like another Cloudtop's Kinstone.
Yep.
And he's also going to make use of that dog food that he picked up. The dog food isn't a bottle. In the vanilla game, you pick up the dog food, which is a separate item, and then when you feed it to the dog, it transforms into a bottle. But in the randomizer, they're completely separate things. So when you give the dog food to the dog, you get a different item out, and it turns into a piece of a heart for him. Meanwhile, Fuzzy is now on Glee Rock. They've made their way through Cave of Flames.
And Rom-Steïn is going into Temple of Droplets. Not a required dungeon this seed, but obviously it could still have items, and it has, after this kind of slow initial part with 2 non-randomized keys, there's a lot of items on a rupee path available pretty much instantly.
Yeah, so it is a bit of a gamble for Rom right now, because it could be that the seed doesn't place any important items in Temple of Droplets, so anything that he does here could be a complete waste of time, or it could have his progression items, so he's making the gamble here of wondering, is there something in here?
Yeah, yesterday's seed had a completely barren Droplets, but this one is a myth seed, so I wouldn't count on that happening. Yeah, we are still
looking for our 4-sword, and we all know which boss that could be on. Octo is the boss of this dungeon, and it's such a long boss to go and reach, and he is a real troll of a boss as well, since he's basically entirely determined by RNG. And a lot of my seeds that I roll do end up having the sword there. Okay, there's the Gust Jar. Power bracelets and a kinstone. That was his last Caster Wilds kinstone. He throws his hands up in the air. What was that? Yeah, so
Temple of Droplets is absolutely the right play here.
Yeah, now he's just thinking, what else do I need to get to beat this seed? He needs the cape. The cape may be locked behind the boots. He needs to find his mitts, and he needs to find another sword. And then we found so many kinstones. There's only 2 kinstones left.
Yeah, it's the number of required items is actually manageable now.
Right, Fuzzy's finished up Cave of Flames, and he's going to go check Malari out before making his way down Mount Krenel and...
So, having just found the Gust Jar here, would you go to Blue Chew?
No. No, I'd
No.
definitely not.
Even though it's a myth seed?
No, never. No, you do Blue Chew at the end of the dungeon when you know that it can't possibly have a map or compass. Because if you get all of the other checks in the dungeon and you look at your you look at your pause screen and you see that you're missing either the map or the compass, then you can go, oh, it's on Blue Chew, and then you just don't need to do the boss. So I always gamble that it's that is the case and avoid the fight for a long time.
Yeah, it is of course a very slow check, and also locked behind all the keys in logic, so I don't know how that actually affects the placement of it.
I mean, on the in the last weekly that we had, there was a sword on Blue Chew, and I did get it as my second sword, even though by logic it was the last sword you were supposed to get. But that's because I dipped into Temple of Droplets and I had done all of the checks that I had in logic, and went, okay, there's only one thing left, and it's Blue Chew, and I've already got my map and compass, so the map and compass can't be on Blue Chew. Let's go and do Blue Chew, and it did have a sword. So that is the kind of decision making that you can make in Temple of Droplets.
Yeah. And the reason not to do Blue Chew before optional Octo is that one of the 2 items that you get from optional Octo is an actual item and can't be a map or compass. So the element is not ever a dungeon item.
I would still... Oh... Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
It toss up at that point. Just depends.
I think if you're having to decide between optional Octo and Blue Chew in the optional Temple of Droplets, you're pretty screwed anyway. So I don't think it really matters which one you do in which order. You would be last locationing both of those. Yeah, that would be 2.5 hours into a seed. You've already literally checked every single other possible location in this game. Okay, Rom's made it to the end of the Dark Maze. They're going to go through and check 5 more hidden items underneath this path. Not as loaded as the first one. Oh no, Rom!
Looks like Rom is deciding to keep going, and...
So, once you get those items, you can leave the dungeon. Unfortunately, he doesn't have... He didn't activate the go to the side where the blue warp is because he doesn't have the cape to do so.
Yeah, he could, of course, go there using the gas jar he found.
Yeah, he would have to go back to the beginning of the dungeon and go through the left-hand side and get some new items that he hasn't acquired. But he's not doing that. He's going to go through the very long path to go to Octo.
Well, I think could have the sword.
This is a really serious gamble he's making, that Octo is going to have something.
Yeah, I wonder if that's just a strategy to kind of prioritize the slower checks more in the hopes that his opponent won't do them.
I think that is it. I think he is making the... we'll ask him in the interview what his strategy for this race was, but I think it is to go to the non-optional... or go to the optional dungeons and do them. And hope that there's progression there.
Yeah, or just do some slower checks in general when you maybe wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah,
like
he doesn't know.
Some of the slower checks in town where...
He doesn't know that this could hurt him really badly because he is the one ahead. He's been routing this better and is
giving a lot of his advantage up. Of course, FuzzyGames is at the moment just deciding on what to do. And the play is Western Woods, but maybe probably isn't that familiar with the randomizer yet.
Yeah, our runners are they don't have no idea where their opponent is. They're in the back of their mind thinking, "Oh God, they've already checked more spots than I have. I'm behind. I need to make a good decision here to like get ahead."
Especially since the seed's been kind of bad about giving you progression, so you feel behind. Like, what if they did some weird check and got their cape really early or something?
Yeah, you're always wondering, did I skip the cape in some really easy spot?
Which, for Rom-Steïn, could be like, if the cape is early in Deep Shiny, you'll probably feel really badly behind or something.
So he's actually going to activate the left switch first, which, nothing's going to happen when he activates the left switch, and that's on purpose. But when he goes and activates the right switch, then it's going to play all of the cutscenes back to back that will open up Octo. Yeah, he's kind of confused there what exactly just happened, but yeah, it's fine. He just needs to go to the right-hand side and then it will play both the cutscenes back to back. Yep, so he's now going to go through the vanilla way through the dungeon that was intended. He skipped and did the second half first, and now he's going to do the first half.
And this is one of those things where having the cape really helps.
So he's going to save here and hope that he's going to... oh, okay, so we... I don't know why... Yeah, okay, I understand why he saved there, because he was using his last key and it was going to set up to do a save scum, but he doesn't need to because he's guaranteed to get a small key on the underwater pot item. That is a randomized item location. There could be a random item there, but because of the key logic that the seed has given, that is the only place where a small can be at this point. A small key can be.
The only things he Like, he could have instead used the key he just used here to get to Blue Chew, and then he would lock himself out of further checks except for the pot. So there has to be a key there. But does there have to be a key there, or could the cape put the other stuff in logic?
No, because if you were to use the cape, you would already have to open a key door to be able to get to the back end of this area. The only way to get down into this lily pad basement, either way, through the left hand or the right hand side, is by using a small key. Okay,
but
so
he did use the key there, so he had 2 keys, right?
He's now abandoning Temple of Droplets. Okay, so he put in all the time investment into opening Octo, skipping out a lot of the checks in the basement, and now thinks he's wasted so much time there, it's time to just cut my losses and go check somewhere else. He does have his Gust Jar, so going to Deeper Shrine wouldn't be a bad call.
He also got the Flippers relatively recently, and got some easy checks here in the Flippers cave.
Yeah, I thought he did. No, he didn't already come down here, so he's
Flippers were... Where did you get the Flippers again? It wasn't that long ago, and he hasn't been here since.
Oh, the Flippers were in Vale Falls.
Yeah, and from there he went to the lake first, so...
Yeah. So the average length of a Minish Cap race, when we do our weekly races, the winner normally finishes somewhere between 2 hours and 2.5 hours. Most runners finish before the 3-hour mark, but if the seeds are especially bad, or if you're newer to the randomizer, it does take over 3 hours. Okay, Fuzzy's going to be finding his jackpot of items in the southern western woods beanstalk. Meanwhile, Rom is going to be going into Deeper Shrine. They can full clear this dungeon, and then that will be their second dungeon completed.
Yeah, the cape could possibly make some of the checks in here faster, but you can get everything with the items he has.
Yeah, so this is the room that you can use the lantern to activate the torches. I think we need to go into the Discord and bug Leo to patch the tingle trees.
Well, is it that that you can use the lantern, or is it that the torches go out if you haven't hit the switch? So you could use the lantern on the last torch, but not on the three before it.
Maybe that's how it works. I've never tested that.
Because I did see when he went back into the first two earlier that the torches weren't on anymore, so it's probably that. Need to test that.
Yes, so if you ever play Minish Cap Vanilla, one thing you need to make sure that you do in order to make sure you're not locked out of 100%ing the game is you need to do the fusion with the Traveler in town to make the Minish portal, to make a portal appear next to Link's house, so that you can go up to the Wind Tribe early. Then when you're at the Wind Tribe early, you can save the old man in the bed. His name is Greagle. When you save him, and by sucking up the ghost that's surrounding him, then when you go to the cloud tops later on in the game, you can he'll give you the light arrows. If you don't save him before the first time you go up to the cloud tops, then he's permanently dead, and you won't ever be able to get the light arrows. So Rom saw the Karlov medal in Deeper Shrine.
Yeah, that gives access to the figurine house in town. So that's another 2 chests or 3 chests.
Yeah, the Karlov medal. The Karloff medal isn't a item that many people see in their vanilla playthrough, because in order to get the Karloff medal, you do need to do all 130 something figurines from the Karloff house. It does depend on when you do that. If you haven't beaten the game yet, it's 130. But when you've beaten the game and you have a completed save file, then it becomes 136. Because there are 6 hidden figurines that don't get unlocked until you've beaten the games, so that you don't spoil the game by getting figurines before you go to Dark Hyrule Castle. And yeah, it doesn't spoil the Dark Hyrule Castle entities.
Yeah, I just know the 136 count because that's the max number for figurine sanity, which is also a game of this randomizer supports.
Yeah, so this most recent version of the randomizer is 0.6, and we added Figurine Hunt. So if you're familiar with Triforce Hunt in A Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time randomizer, then it's basically exactly the same as that. There are a set number of figurines that are dispersed into the item pool, and you set a goal of how many figurines you want to collect to be your win condition, and you run around the game and try and collect all of the figurines.
And yeah, Trent already put it in chat, but be sure to follow our runners here. Without them, we wouldn't be able to bring this content to you, so... If you enjoy watching Minish Cap Randomizer, be sure to give these guys a follow.
Right, Fuzzy's managed to get their checks in Western Woods, and now they've got some options of what they want to do. They've got their Veil Falls Kinstone, so if they use the Veil Falls Kinstone, they'll be able to get their flippers.
And from the flippers, they can go into Temple of Droplets to get their Gust Jar.
Yeah. We currently have no idea where the cape is either, so if the cape's somewhere else, then that could also give logic.
You can enter the mini-boss room in Deeper Shrine by burning the web on the lower door.
Yeah, he did.
Where you can actually avoid using a key, but since Rom-Steïn already has all the keys, it didn't matter if he did that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he uses the key there currently, but yeah, you do want to use the lantern so that you can save the key. Yeah, so he's got his Karloff medal, which lets him get into the figurine house in town, which is on. It's the shop with the weird robot dude on the roof. That's next to Simon's Simulator and Rem's shoe shop.
And after Signature Trophy was required, we kind of expect something to be there.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Tingle Trophy required and Karloff medal required.
Unfortunately, dog food has nothing, so...
Yeah, unfortunately dog food has nothing. We're still waiting for the mushroom as well to give to Rem. That is another one of our fetch quest items. And the biggest fetch quest item of all, the books for Yellari. We still haven't had a Yellari check from Rom. He's got access to go to Yellari, but he didn't go there. Yellari is the yellow minish found in the library. He only gives an item once you collect all of the books.
Well, you can, yeah. And technically, doing the book thing also gives access to Flipper's Cave below, but if you have Flippers, you can just exit that from the exit.
So Rom has completed his second dungeon now. Fuzzy's still on one dungeon. He needs to find the Flippers in Veil Falls and then get the Gust Jar from Temple of Droplets before he is able to do his second dungeon. Also, the Caster Wild's Kinstone was in Temple of Droplets, so he needs to absolutely go there to get that in order to go to Caster Wilds at some point.
Still don't know how to go through Castle Wild since we have neither the boots nor the cape and don't know where those are. So the Castle Wild Skinstone is not does not give access to any immediate checks, but the Gust Jar
just picked up his Jabberknot and he looked at his map and is like, "Yep, Deepwood Shrine is a required dungeon. Do I want to go there without the Gust Jar? It's not great for him if he does it right now."
Well, he would get a Skull of Metal, which might lead to something. But yeah, he does need to go. Like, it could be helpful for him if, say, the cape is in Carlos' house. But
he's going up Vale Falls right now, which is a good play for him because he's going to find his flippers in Vale Falls.
Yeah, flippers and Ocarina.
Yeah, so unfortunate for Rom, the dungeon layout for this, or the key layout for this dungeon, and also the items that you have when you come and do it, mean that you're having to do this lily pad basement the vanilla way, which is incredibly slow, and it's not something you really want to be doing. And he's also going to have to spend a lot of time here going through these mushroom jumps. If he fails any one of these jumps because he's got the flippers, he's going to have to go all the way back to the beginning and do it again. If you do this area without the flippers, when you drown, it puts you on the last bit of ground you touch. There's the mitts! Wow, so, okay.
That's
right, so,
a whole other lot of checks.
Yeah, Rom's routed this fantastically. He's just following the item progression. He's got the flippers from Vale Falls, went straight to Temple of Droplets, got his Gust Jar, straight away go to Deepwood Shrine, get the mitts. Like, this is the progression through the seed, and he is nailing it. And he's just got up and left.
I imagine that's because of some non-game related stuff that's come up,
okay.
But...
Yeah, hopefully he's gonna come back. Meanwhile, Fuzzy...
Giving Fuzzy a chance to catch up.
Fuzzy has just picked up his flippers. He's going to be going up Vale Falls and finding his Ocarina. Okay, yeah. Right, Fuzzy's picking up his Ocarina right now. Right, for Fuzzy to catch up, they need to... it might look like that they're going to go up into Cloud Tops. They need to go to Temple of Droplets to get their Gust Jar, and then go to Deepwood Shrine and get their mitts.
And then who knows what the mitts will lead to.
Yeah, we have no idea what progression is at that point. The mitts is kind of saying to go back to Lake Hylia and go to the treasure cave that's there.
You don't have the cape.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We don't have the cape. We're still looking for the cape.
Things we can do with the mitts
it's gonna have to be
a few checks in Minish Woods. The town checks are probably a bit densest. The Tribute caves.
Okay, Rom is back, and they're back, and they're off.
And the Vale caves are the ones that they have.
Yes. Yeah. There are. Yeah, there's 4 items in Vale Falls. 1 in Lake Hylia, 3 in North Minish Woods, and then 4 in town.
And
then there's also 3 in Trilby. The mid spots are kind of dispersed around.
And town is kind of 4 or 5, depending on if you count the...
Oh yeah, that's right. He does have his spin attack, and He's got his blue sword and he's already have his flippers, so he's already have his flippers. So that
he has done none of those world checks yet, but he does now have access to all of them. Or he has done the one where you need a blue sword to push the block, but hasn't pushed the block yet.
There's also the orphan cave at the top of Mount Krenel. That has just been brought into logic. There is nothing else on Mount Krenel. Rom has full cleared it all except for one cave right at the very top. That could have something.
At least they have the ocarina too.
Yeah, at least they have the ocarina, but it's still a trek to have to climb all the way up the wall just to get in there. And then when you get to the top, you have to climb down a ladder to get to that cave. It's such a slow cave to reach. Okay, Fuzzy's doing the he's gonna go for the Yalari check straight away with the ocarina. There's and the boots! Right.
Okay. So that gives access to
right, this is exciting.
Fortress of Gomod.
He didn't go to Yalari, he's shrunk and he's going into the fountain.
Flipper escape.
Yeah. So Rom has his boots, which means he can go to Castor Wilds, and he has access to Fortress of Winds, his third dungeon. He can full clear that because he's got the mitts and the bow and the boots to get there. All he's looking for right now are his last two kinstones, the cape, and a sword.
And we don't call it Fortress of Gomod for no reason, so...
Yeah, Fortress of Winds we do call Fortress of Go Mode because it is very likely that your Go Mode items are going to be there. There are
you could still have a vanilla cape troll or something.
Oh yeah, that would be horrible if we had a vanilla cape. And there's also the chance that cape is on Octo.
Which, I don't know if that would be good or bad for Rom-Steïn at this point, since he has done a lot of the slow path towards Octo already, but then left before doing Octo itself.
Yeah, he also hasn't done a lot of the checks in the basement, and he hasn't even activated the blue warp in
yeah, I mean, he never got to the blue warp. In the scenario where the cape is on Octo, he couldn't have activated the blue warp from where he went, so...
Right, so
yeah, we're also seeing chickens at this point.
1 hour 30 chickens. I am very upset. I can't believe no one touched chickens until now. I mean, okay, it's fair. You can only do chickens when you have either the cape or the flippers. And we just got access to. But so, Rom has avoided the chickens in town until now.
Well, if he does them in this going through town checks, it's still like the first time he's come to town after getting the flippers.
Yeah, are we gonna see 2 Cuckoo games simultaneously? No, we're not. But Fuzzy gets the Cuckoo game. Right, Rom has activated, has come from all sides of the well and pushed all of the boulders into the ground, so they can check what is on the pillar chest here. And it's just a blue pea.
And going to do your Larry?
Okay, so Trez has just posted the Minish Cap Randomizer schedule in the chat, so go and check that out to find out when the next matches for the Minish Cap tournament are going to be held. Okay, Fuzzy's found a kinstone. That's the Cloudtop's kinstone at the entrance to the graveyard. So we're looking for one more kinstone because he's found a different kinstone to Rom.
Yeah, so Rom-Steïn will need to go towards the graveyard at some point.
Oh yeah, what did Yalari have? They both checked Yalari. I think it was junk because we didn't.
I didn't.
We didn't pay attention.
Yeah, no. But.
Oh no.
That's. And there's a bomb bag. I'm wondering if that could have been FuzzyGames' first bomb bag if he just went up the mountain when he was missing that.
Where was the bomb bag? In...
The southern chest, what do you call it?
In Castor Wilds.
Yeah, Castor Wilds, the...
Yeah, that's really deep in, because you need your boots, which are locked behind the mitts, which were locked behind the gust jar, which was locked behind the flippers, the flippers were in Baleful, which was locked behind the bomb bag, so you had to have the bomb bag to come here.
There's the bomb bag
though. Yeah, Fuzzy's just picked up the mushroom in the graveyard. So if he's going to go back to town now? No, he's not. He's not going to go to town and check that item. He's going to Lake Hylia. This is good. He's going to
need to go into Temple of Droplets. So
if he goes into Temple of Droplets, there we go. So he's got 4 of the Cloudtop's kinstones. He's looking for 1 more Cloudtop's kinstone, but he's heading over to Temple of Droplets right now. When he gets to the entrance of the Temple of Droplets, he's going to find a Castor Wilds kinstone and the Gust Jar. If he finds the Gust Jar and bails out straight away and goes to Deepwood, he's back in this. But this is based on if he goes into Temple of Droplets. He's in Lake Hylia right now. May skip out on Temple of Droplets because it's not required.
Yeah, it looks like he's floating away, so...
Yeah. That's completely understandable. Temple of Droplets is a really long dungeon to even start doing, and it's not a required dungeon.
Because of the rupee path at this point, just entering it for that is probably still kind of efficient in terms of checks per minute.
Yeah, it just
because
takes
that's just 6 checks.
Yeah. It's those first items. The first 2 ice blocks take up quite a bit of time.
Yeah, but you do have the lamps, so they're not extremely slow. Yeah, both the Kinstone and the Gustra were in that first rupee, so...
Oh, is he going to go into Deepwood? He's doing the Flipper's Cave right now. That is in Minish Woods. After that, well, okay, he didn't set the quick warp for Minish Woods, so he may, as soon as he's done these checks, he might quick warp and then just flute away. I think he's going for a bit of a scatter route right now, where he's using the Ocarina to just zip around the map and check some really quick checks and not have to dive deep into any singular location.
Which makes a lot of sense. You don't really want to dive deep with time without the Gustra this late.
Yeah, they're the 3 items we're looking for right now, is Sword, Kinstone, and Cape. Honestly, it's very likely that they could all be in Fortress of Winds. Rom's in Castor Wilds right now, and has access to go to Fortress of Winds, and we'll be seeing them doing that over the next 10 or 20 minutes. Okay, Fuzzy is going to go into Minish Village and head into Deepwood Shrine. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to get anything done in here. They'll be able to get some small keys, but they have to come back when they've got their Gust Jar.
Of course, if they already find the big key now, going back for just the boss is going to be quick, but then they will also need to get the mids after finding the Gust Jar.
Rom found his boots in the middle of Lake Hylia. He found his mitts in the last chest of Deepwood Shrine, and then he used the mitts to dig into the island at the very center of Lake Hylia and found his boots.
Yes, boots were locked by mitts, which were locked by the gas jar, which is inside Temple of Droplets. And that's right, we still don't have the cape and still don't know where it's at.
Yeah, welcome to a Myth Seed.
Yeah, they had a nice Natter seed first, but then technical issues happened and now they are playing a Myth Seed instead.
Yes, so they're the 3 items we're looking for right now are the sword, the cape, and the last kinstone. So we don't know where one of the kinstones are, but we know where 2 other ones are. Fuzzy picked up a Cloudtop's kinstone in the entrance to the graveyard. Rom needs to go and get that. Fuzzy is missing a Castor Wild's kinstone, which is at the entrance to Temple of Droplets, which is what Rom found. So they found one that the other one didn't find and just need to swap over.
Rom, of course, has way more checks available, so it might take him longer to find that kinstone that Fuzzy already has, but then Fuzzy has a lot more stuff to go through to catch up with what Rom has done in terms of progress.
Yeah, Rom has found his boots and his graveyard key, so he has got the graveyard in Logic currently. But it is going to be at the back of his mind.
Yeah, but the boots also opened up Castor and
Yeah.
Fortress of Winds, so that's...
Yeah,
Graveyard is
on
not
his,
going to be high on Rom's priority list.
yeah, on his tracker he has got those things like... Oh, and hello, we have Hayden joining us.
Yep, sorry for the delay. I was still asleep.
There's the
Alright.
cape.
There's the cape! Oh my god, the cape was in hiking!
So... Cape is locked by boots, which were locked by mitts, which was locked by Gastjar, which was locked by flippers, which was locked by the Velford Skinstone. That's
Yeah,
the
so-
sequence.
that is a secret. And there's the Great Spin! Loaded... Absolutely loaded this this hiking spot. The Great Spin is definitely something you want to be picking up. And does he have...
That is his
that,
seventh scroll.
that was his 7th scroll, so he can do this check. Okay, we're now looking for 2 items. The sword and the last kinstone.
So some of the scrolls have distinct appearances, which Great Spin is one of them, so that's why we knew it was Great Spin. Of course, with the way spin scrolls are progressive, you could also find a normal looking scroll and have it turn into Great Spin after you pick it up.
Yeah, we knew that we'd already picked up Spin Attack and hadn't got Great Spin, so when we saw the grey scroll, which is Force Great Spin, it was actually Great Spin. But if you just start a seed and you see a Great Scroll, you pick it up, it will turn into the Spin Attack.
At what point your Spin Attack becomes your Great Spin, when you ever find that. And sometimes you can then find different spin upgrades depending on what order you pick them up in, which is kind of bad.
Yeah, so Rom's going to be heading over to the Fortress of Go mode, hopefully finding his Force Sword there, and possibly even a Cloudtop's Kinstone. We're definitely not playing the same seed as yesterday, right?
No,
This is definitely not the same seed as yesterday. Yesterday's seed was nice. This is a myth seed. It's definitely not the same. So spin attack is progressive in a kind of weird way where it has 3 branches that each, if you don't have spin yet, give you the normal spin attack instead, and the spin attack then gives you the branch from which you pick that up if you ever find that scroll. And those branches are the fast split, the fast spin, and the great spin, which is then progressive with the long great spin. Which is a really cool thing, except for the fact that sometimes which spins you actually have can depend on what order you pick them up.
I think there's a diagram someone made that explains the progression with spins. It's really handy to have it that way, though, because it means that you're not having to hunt around for ages to find your spin attack.
Yeah, it means that there's 5 scrolls that can be a spin attack, and you obviously need the spin attack to be able to split, so...
Rom uses the remote bombs here to one-shot the Armos Knights. You have to kill all 3 of those Armos Knights to be able to open the chests that are here. Yeah, so Hayden, where do you think the Four Sword's going to be hidden this seed?
Let me see. I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna doubt only knowing a little bit of where we have it. I want the meme Severance say Octo.
Of course. It is a myth seed, it's got to be Octo.
I kind of like Four Sword and Down Thrust at this point.
I'm down thrust, oh boy. Last chest before Georg? Oh, fan loop. Yeah, no, I'm going with fan loop.
You are evil, you know that?
Yeah, we're still 2 items from go mode right now, so but I think when we find our next progressive item, which is either a Kinstone or the Four Sword, then we could throw up a poll to find out where the go mode item is, or put a bet up.
Yeah, and it's more likely we'll find the last Kinstone first, since the Four Sword can be just about anywhere. A few exceptions are the 3 chests in the garden and some chicks in Dark Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, Fuzzy has made the dip into Droplets. They're doing the first couple checks here. They're going to be finding their Gust Jar and their Castle Wilds Kinstone. Then it's up to them at that point. What do they want to do? Do they want to continue through Temple of Droplets, or do they bail out and go somewhere else? If they go to Deepwood, then they can start catching up on Rom. Or, if they full clear Temple of Droplets and find the Four Sword...
Or the last Kinstone.
Or the last Kinstone. Yeah, then they found something that Rom hasn't.
Of course, if Rom then goes back to Temple of Droplets, he will have a slightly easier time with the cape.
Okay, there we go. Fuzzy's picked up his Gust Jar. The power bracelets as well. We completely forgot that was there. And his last cast a Wildkin Stone.
Yeah, not sure. Did we see Dr. Left's house
He's
from
quick walk.
Rom-Steïn when he was in town?
No, I don't think we did. I don't think he did the fountain either. He's bailing! And he's warping. Where is he going to warp to?
This could be good for Fuzzy.
Yes, he's going to Deeper Shrine! Right, Fuzzy's going to be catching up now. Now, we're kind of making out that Fuzzy is behind Rom right now, and he is a little bit, but they have checked items that each other haven't, so...
So if Rom-Steïn decides to finish his Octo dip before going to the graveyard, then Fuzzy has a real chance here.
Yes.
Yeah, Rom's actually looking for 3 items right now, even though we know we're just looking... us here in the viewers are looking for 2 items. He's looking for a sword and 2 Cloudtop's Kinstones. One of his Cloudtop's Kinstones is in the graveyard, so Rom needs to head over to the graveyard at some point. Fuzzy's already done that, and he's only looking for 1 less Kinstone now. Yeah, Rom went on to the right-hand side of Temple of Droplets, which is the longer path that doesn't have as many checks, and he didn't find anything else. He didn't go to the lily pad basement though, so we don't know if there's anything required in there. Rom has picked up the big key for Fortress of Winds, so once he's done this path of the dungeon, he has the option to go and fight Mazao straight away.
Yeah, though I believe he might actually have already picked up both the map and the compass. So...
He's also on 3 keys right now, and kind of wants to know where that last key is. Yeah, so Fuzzy is finishing up Deep Shrine right now. He's not finishing the dungeon, he's just finished the boss fight. Deep Shrine can be done out of order, so you can do the boss fight first and then go later go into the dungeon and then do the other checks afterwards. So hopefully he does that instead of bailing out right now. If he continues to search in the dungeon, he's going to find his mitts.
And the mitts, of course, lock the boots, which lock the cape. So...
Yeah,
kind of
he
important
really
that you
needs to do this, which he's doing it, so he will be finding his.
Okay, Rom's going for Mazao. He's going to be doing the boss of this dungeon before he's cleared up most of the checks here. So Mazao does have the possibility of having a small key. He's only got 3 out of the 4 small keys for this dungeon, and wants to find all of them before he makes his way to the back of the dungeon.
And yes, you can use the boomerang to turn the anti-fairies into fairies, which is very useful, especially in Dark Harry Castle, where...
Yeah, Fortress of Winds,
easy
Palace of... Yeah, Fortress of Winds, Palace of Winds, and Dark Horror Castle all have those, the sparked enemies that when you hit with the boomerang turn into a fairy. I'm sorry, we just missed something hilarious from Fuzzy.
But he just realized that,
Yeah, Fuzzy pushed the pot onto the switch to do this puzzle, and then slashed his sword, and he's got pot breaker, so he broke the pot. I was trying to talk when it happened, and it just completely distracted me.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, you hate to see that happen. Usually pot breakers, well, rock breaker is one of the nice trolls to have, but can make you do stuff like that.
When you play any percent, you never get any of the sword scrolls, so you're just so used to only having spin attack and that's it. So yeah, it just completely makes sense that that's something you might do. Okay, not Fuzzy, Rom finishes up Mazao. No. Fuzzy! Fuzzy, no! No! What are you doing? No! Fuzzy, there's your mitts! Fuzzy, your mitts are in that chest! He looked at it and was like, no cape? Nah, not doing that. Fuzzy!
He might just do the other check first.
Oh yeah, he's going back. He's going back.
Okay, he's heading back, right. Meanwhile, Rom picked up his last small key from Mazao, so it's good that he did the boss first before heading to the back of the dungeon. Okay, Fuzzy's heading back.
Scaring us a bit there, but...
Okay, he's doing it. Yeah, I'll someone please get me a cup of tea. I'm having a heart attack here.
Someone just give me a...
Okay, Fuzzy's picked up his mitts. His next item to find is the boots, which are in the center aisle in Lake Hylia.
Lake Hylia. Yeah. So...
It does look like he's going to North Minish Woods now. He's got a couple of caves here that he can access with the mitts. Hopefully that routes him towards Lake Hylia.
Yeah, you can just... The other cave here in Mishwoods does have a ladder connecting to the lake, so you could just go through there.
And then hopefully when he gets that... Oh, he's leaving. Okay, he's just equipped the ocarina. He's going to... He's not fluting. Okay, he's going to go and check this... He's checking the Minish Fairy outside of Minish Woods. I thought he checked it right at the start of the seed because he did have the cane really early on. I think he's just realised he's already got that.
Yeah,
okay,
the check
so...
he does have in that area, which maybe confusing with his track, has the...
Yeah, he has already picked up that item earlier, so he remembers where he's going. He's re-equipped his mitts, and he's going to be going through Lake Hylia. There's the Four Sword.
So...
Four Sword at the back of Fortress of Winds. We are now looking for one item. The last Cloudtop's Kinstone. Where is it going to be? So let's have a bet up. Where do we think the last Cloudtop's Kinstone is? That's the last item to find, and when we find it, we know what the progression is to beat this seed.
And the Kinstone, of course, is a nice go mode item because it means you will be able to go mode Palace of Winds. Which
so
is
Rom is
still
looking...
a long dungeon to do, but is still much faster than go mode, especially the second half.
Yeah, Fortress of Go mode absolutely like living up to its name, having a Four Sword here. Yeah, so Rom is looking for 2 more Cloudtop's Kinstones. We know where one of them is. Oh, unfortunately it gets grabbed by one of the Wallmasters. It has to go through that section of the dungeon again. But we know where one of his Cloudtop's Kinstones is. It's at the entrance to the graveyard. There is a chest on the way to the graveyard, and when he opens that, he's going to find one of his Cloudtop's Kinstones. We don't know where the other one is. Oh, Fuzzy doesn't check the cave in the middle of Lake Hylia. As soon as he got that, he got through that cave there, he bailed out and went back to town. That's going to really hurt Fuzzy because that is his progression. The cape is in. It was in
Castle Wilds.
It was in Castle Wilds, so it is locked behind the boots. No, Rom hasn't left. He hasn't left Castle Wilds or the Wind's Ruins since he picked up his cape. Okay, he's now finished the dungeon. Now it is up to him. Where does he want to go? He has lots of options right now for making progression. He's picked up his Force Sword and the cape since he last had a choice of choosing where to go.
In town he has the bell. And maybe some other checks you had access to before that you didn't check yet? Alright.
I mean, the go-to thing is what he's doing right now is he has his Force Sword. Go check the garden. It's so often the case that when you pick up your Force Sword and you're not in Go mode, your Go mode item is going to be here.
Yeah, he might have 2 Swift Flow checks, definitely at least one. I don't know if he checked the dash attack check. Looks like Garden was not at the seat.
Yeah, so he is back in town. There are a few checks that he can do here in town. Such as the bell and also the dojo. Another big play for him is to go to Lake Hylia and check out the North Treasure Cave in Lake Hylia. Oh, this is another thing. We picked up the Carl of Meadow and never checked what was here.
Fuzzy has been here. So, we know
Fuzzy just went there, okay. And then Fuzzy also checking Doctor Left. Both of our runners are in town right now, trying to find some checks. We're still looking for one of the Kinstones. Yeah, so in town, in the fountain, we already had a dip there and we saw what 2 of the items in the fountain were, but we didn't see what one of the chests at the very back of the fountain was, so there could be a Kinstone back there.
I'm gonna say that's what.
I don't think anyone has checked Greggle 1 yet, no.
No, yeah, no one has checked Greggle.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pick the rest. That one to be Grenell.
Oh, the cave at the top of Mount Grenell. Alright, we're getting a 2-hour, 1-minute Cuckoo game. Now I really wish the last Kinstone was on Cuckoo game.
Well, we always can't have anything because Anju doesn't always give us what we want.
Oh, Rom's not got that much time left. Where's he going?
Yeah, he decides to just reset the game.
He just
going to
reset.
reset.
He did have time.
Well, he did
guess...
also have to get the 3rd chicken from the top still, so maybe he just decided.
I think what was going in mind is that like he was having so many issues that he was like, I'm just gonna reset it. Because when you're working with that much time for like, and you don't really do this all that much, it can be very tricky. Because one screw up again, it can just end up any.
Right, he's got 2 of the chickens done. He's gonna go for the last one.
Oh.
And the last one does that.
Yeah, that's the problem with doing Cuckoo so late. If you have Sword Beam, it makes this really difficult to do, because any sword slashes you want to do send out a Sword Beam, and the Sword Beam always messes up the Cuckoos.
You can turn off the Sword Beam if you want to.
I just saw what Rom did there. He just talked to Gorman. So
Did we reach a verdict on if that actually helps yet?
If you don't have Great Spin, it does.
But he did pick up Great Spin.
He does have Great Spin. I don't know if it works with Great Spin. We have checked Fifi. Fifi doesn't have anything. But Fuzzy is back in Lake Hylia. Hopefully he routes his way down to this entrance, to the middle of Lake Hylia and picks up his boots. What is he doing? Okay, he's going into Lake Hylia. No! Okay, right, he doesn't flute away. He accidentally pressed the flute when he was trying to get it. Okay, he's going to get his boots now. Yeah, he gets his Pegasus boots. Now he knows he has access to Castor Wilds, and he can go to Fortress of Winds.
And
If he
Castor is
starts-
the obvious play, but hiking is one that you could maybe decide to skip until after Fortress.
Yeah, that's the thing. Fortress, yeah. The hiking check, which is the longest check to get in Castor Wilds, is where the cape is. This is such a myth seed. Like, of course the cape was going to be in the hiking chest. Okay, Rom's going to the fountain. I don't think they went... They checked any of the checks here in Fountain, did they? Or was it Fuzzy that checked it earlier?
I'm not sure he did the early dip into the fountain.
Oh, Myth has been banned again? Okay, Myth, you're banned.
Yeah, people say I'm permabanned, but the thing is, I just overruled that.
No, he can't be permabanned. He still has to roll seeds. He'll be banned after he plays plan.
Yeah, whenever someone needs to roll a horrendous seed, I just get... Just call me up.
We'll ban Myth after I finish that.
I mean, Trent did ask about how to roll seeds earlier, so we might have a challenger for that title of worst seed roller soon.
Right, it was junk at the end of the fountain. Did Rom check Yalari? Yeah, Rom did check Yalari. Why is he coming back here?
Did he check the Flipper's cave?
He did have the flippers at the time and the lantern. There's no reason why he shouldn't have. I think he... Okay, he must have put it off when he first came here. Still looking for progression. He's not going to find it here in the basement of the library. Okay, Fuzzy is skipping out the diminished checks in Castor Wilds. He's not going to find his cape. But if he full clears Fortress of Winds, he's going to find his Four Sword, and then he's just going to be wondering where his cape is. Hopefully he goes back to Castor Wilds.
Yeah, if he decides to... Like, if he finds his last Kinstone and decides to dip Palace before...
Fuzzy, he's just skipped that Minish check there. He just skipped going into the hole. Hopefully he doesn't forget that.
Well,
I mean, I don't think it was anything. I don't think it was anything. I think
there's nothing it could have been at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, currently Rom is in front. He's already done Fortress of Winds, and Fuzzy's just outside of Fortress right now. Though it could change at any moment because Rom is still looking for 2 of his Castle Wildkin stones.
Yeah, so Rom needs
however,
to pick up the Kinstone at the graveyard that Fuzzy has, and one that we don't know where it is. While Fuzzy needs to pick up the cane in Castle Wilds and go through for those wins for the element.
and also the Four Sword in at the back of Fortress.
Yeah.
But they're still both looking for one of the Kinstones. When we know where that last Kinstone is, we can then start kind of making prediction of who's going to be the first to enter, or be on the road to go mode. Alright, this is something we haven't checked out.
Has Rom-Steïn not been here at all?
I don't think he's ever touched here until now. And so...
That's a late Sphere Zero check.
Yeah, it is really late. There is a really high chance that the, you know, there's something here. Yeah, because he was always a wallet behind, and it's because he never picked up that wallet right at the start of the seed. Yeah, so the last Kinstone has a 50% chance of being in Temple of Droplets, because it's either there or it's not.
I mean, we don't have that much left to check. There's all of Graveyard.
Yeah, there's all of the graveyards.
Which Fuzzy did went how deep?
He
got
went
the ferry.
Up to Dampe.
He did get Dampe. Okay.
He got up to Dampe, but he didn't have the boots, so he lost his graveyard key and then he couldn't get it back. So yeah, it could be
So
in the
that's
graveyard.
6 tricks.
Could be in Cloud Tops itself. Could be a vanilla,
Cloud Tops, which
vanilla
is
or French
another...
vanilla.
How many checks is in Cloud Tops? 6 or 7? And then there's the few checks in Droplets. Did Rom-Steïn go to the treasure cave yet? He didn't, right? So,
Which check?
the Hype Cave, Cave Cave, whatever.
No, we haven't gone to Hype Cave.
So that's probably quite high up on his priority list.
He is going to go to the graveyard though.
Which is good, because
Yeah,
one of the
that
two
is-
Kinstones he's missing is going to be here.
Or is he?
Well, gets the dojo here first, but... If
I
you
don't
already
think he
here,
got the
you...
moat either. Did he get the moat? I thought I saw him do the moat earlier. So it's kind of a question of what kind of routing he's going to do here. He's quick warped. And he's leaving. He's not going to go to the graveyard. Or is he?
He's quick warp to go back here. Okay. Where is he going? Oh, these caves. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. Again, I thought they were a chick that he had done.
No, Fuzzy has been here, but...
Right, he's going to... Yeah, he's doing the moat checks now. Yeah, so it was Fuzzy that checked all of this area earlier on.
Yeah, and I imagine if he doesn't flute out here, he's going to the grave. Can't quick warp from here.
Yeah, he was thinking about quick warping, but quick warping would just keep him at exactly where he is. Right, he's not going to the graveyard. He's going to Lake Hylia. He's going to be checking the Cape Cave here. The Hype Cave.
I feel like he's going to Doctor after, before going graveyard.
There are 11 checks in this cave, so there is a high chance that there could be a Kinstone here. But when he finds his Kinstone, he won't be in go mode. We know where his one of the Kinstones is, but he just missed it in the graveyard, or at the entrance to the graveyard even.
Yeah, it wasn't even in the graveyard. It was just the fusion chest on the way to the graveyard.
Yeah, it was the chest we saw him swim past. He does have the Mitz butterfly though, so it makes this cave so fast to just zoom through with the Mitz.
Yeah, he's at 18 highs already, so not a whole lot of stuff.
18 hearts, because you're like, damn, I've basically 100%ed this.
And he hasn't even entered Cloudtops yet.
Yeah.
Which we're not gonna see any of the Cloudtops checks from his side because, well, maybe if there's a Kinstone there, but it's likely that he's going to skip at least some heights in Palace at least, which at this point there's not that many left.
Yeah, so unfortunately the Hype Cave in Lake Hylia didn't have anything. Could it be Cloudtops? Could it actually be Cloudtops at this rate? Oh,
I mean...
what's he doing?
Lower wave for Stinging Trap? Did he do that?
Did he not? He didn't do that. Okay, so he's got another digging cave here, which has 2 items that he can check out.
Yeah, he already did this when he picked up the dog food, but didn't have the mitts at the time.
If the last Kinstone is in Temple of Droplets, that's gonna really hurt Ron because they skipped out on a lot of the checks in the basement of Temple of Droplets.
Yeah, but it's a bit quicker to get back there with the cape now. So
They still didn't even activate the blue warp, so they would
yeah,
they would either have to do the vanilla route or retrace their steps through the dark maze to get to the blue warp.
it's probably faster to go through the dark maze, right?
Yeah. You then have to backtrack through the lily pad section.
Yeah, but he did get the pot already, and
he did get the pot, so he does have a spare key. But he did also use the key there. His last key is for Blue Chew. Okay, now he's going into the graveyard. Right, Rom's going to be finding one of his Cloudtops Kinstones in this first chest here. Then he's going to be looking for one last Kinstone.
he's also going to find this wake-up mushroom here, which it's probably not something you want to see here, but...
Yeah, Fuzzy's got some work now to catch up. He's lost his advantage that he had So now he's just behind at this point. He needs to find his Force Sword at the end of this dungeon, and also he needs to go back to Castor Wilds and get his cape. Honestly, if it's not in the crypt at this rate, it's got to be in Cloudtops. Sure, there's a couple of other checks, but they're also
Could always be Octo.
Could always be Octo, yeah. I think they're the three main spots it could be at this point. Is either Graveyard, Temple
Yeah,
Droplets,
I can't think
or
of anything else that
Cloudtops.
we haven't seen yet.
We checked the fountain.
Yeah, the fountain, that was a scroll, I think.
scroll.
Down thrust?
Was it down thrust? Oh, you did actually pick it up.
Yeah, Rom-Steïn got that.
Yeah.
We did
we
see
did see
Figurine
Carl.
House. Had a bunch of rupees.
Oh, Rom's missed the bird on with the key. It was that top right tree. You could see it ever so slight on the corner of his screen, but he didn't notice it. Yeah, it's the tree next to Danpei's house. There we go. Okay, he's got his graveyard key and he can go and check out the graveyard. Meanwhile, Fuzzy's on Mazao. He's gonna get his last Fortress of Wind small key here. That's gonna let him go into the back end of Fortress of Winds and pick up his Force Sword. Okay, Rom's going straight into Royal Crypt.
Which, one of the three items here is nothing?
Yeah, he skipped out the checks in the graveyard and has gone immediately to...
Yeah, there's 4 quick checks in the graveyard, which I do before going into the crypt here, but...
Yeah, he's gambling that there's going to be a kinstone on the king, which is a... In the vanilla game, it's the Veil Falls kinstone, but he's gambling that there's a Cloudtops kinstone here. Sure, dipping into the Royal Crypt kind of makes sense. Like if you see, just to look at the Gibdos and go, okay, one of them had an arrow, that is one of my items in here. Then he could have left and gone and checked the other items in the graveyard, but. Breath of the Wild rando with all 900 seeds randomized. Does it really matter if the seeds are randomized? Wait, what? How does that even work? Fuzzy bails out of Fortress after he beats the boss. He's not going to do the back of the dungeon, and he's going to be missing his Force Sword. He's also missing the cape in Castor Wilds because he was skipping the checks there.
Yeah, so Fuzzy is really far behind now.
Yeah, when it comes to being at the... You can't really just, like, dip out of a dungeon. You have to commit to it. Because in the event that you do dip out before you complete it, it is going to backfire on the line.
There it is.
Yes.
It was in the graveyard. So
Fuzzy's...
Yeah, that is go mode for Roms. They have found all of their they found their last kinstone. There were 2 Cloudtops kinstones in the graveyard. One was actually inside the graveyard, and then one was on the first chest before you reached there. Rom has now hit go mode. They are going to be going up Cloudtops and doing Palace of Winds. Meanwhile, Fuzzy, moments afterwards, finds his last Cloudtops kinstone. He's done for kinstones. He just needs to find his Force Sword and his cape.
But he does now have access to Palace.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Oh my god, Fuzzy.
He's gambling that the cape's there. He's going to gamble that the cape is either in the cloud tops or in Palace of Winds. Because Rom is in go mode, Rom's going to skip all of the chests here and is just going to activate the fusions. But Fuzzy's going to have to open everything along the way. Fuzzy's going to hit the entrance to Palace of Winds and then realise he's not going to have his sword. He's not going to have his cape.
Where was the cape again?
The cape
was at hiking. The end of the Warthog Slave.
Oh.
And the heart piece at the back had had Great Spin.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And the Force Sword was on the key drop on the statue puzzle at the back of Fortress of Winds. Yeah, they're both fairly long checks that you'll want to do the first time you've entered that area. Fuzzy's gambling that they didn't have anything, and that gamble didn't pay off. I mean, it's not called Fortress of Go mode for nothing. Fuzzy didn't find anything when he was in Fortress, so at this point in the seeds, you got to full clear the Fortress. You can't gamble that it's gonna have junk at the end. You're gonna get hurt.
Pretty much. Like, when you know Fortress of Go mode is going to happen, you can't just, like, miss out. Like, this is not one of the starting dungeons, so you can just be like, oh, I can come back here later, I don't think anything's here. No. When you go into Fortress or Palace, and you've already, like, done, like, half of the dungeon, don't give out. It's just gonna come back to bite you. Complete it if you can.
Yeah, Fuzzy was honestly about 20 minutes behind at the very start of the seed because he was completely lost as to where the bombs were. When he first went into the shop, he saw that it was junk and marked off the shop as junk. So he didn't go back and get the roof chest which had his bomb bag. He'd honestly done a fairly good job at catching back up to Rom, kind of because Rom had to dip a bunch of other locations which weren't required.
Yes. I'm just glad I'm not the only person that had an issue finding bombs in this tournament.
Yeah, Fuzzy's bomb bag was in the roof chest of the shop. And all of the bomb bags were locked behind that, so... Yeah, Rom
so whenever I let that go on my part, I'm gonna make up for that.
Yeah, Rom had pretty much completed Cave of Flames by the time Fuzzy found his bombs and had the chance to go up Mount Crenel.
Oh, you had the chance to go up Mount Crenel. Did have Ripping.
Oh yeah, that is right. He didn't need the bombs to make his way into Cave of Flames.
Could have done quite a lot actually without doing that.
He could have.
At some point he would have been locked by bombs and then finding them would have been way harder, so...
He would have found his red sword and spin attack and been able to go to Western Woods without the bomb bag. Right, Fuzzy's making their way through Palace right now. they're going to be getting as many checks as they can at this entrance point because they want to make sure that they can go mode this dungeon as quickly as possible. Doesn't get the cape jump the first time round, gonna jump down the clouds and to go for a second try.
Cape jump can be either the easiest thing you learn, or it can just be hard.
It's practice. You find a good strat that works, then practice it until you never fail it.
Mm-hmm. There's like, what, how many ways you get, like 3?
I would say there's 3.
Because I know you found a new strat.
I found a new strat which I have.
The original strat that people were using was relying on the crows, and then the strat I was using was going based off the blue.
Yeah, some of the other speedrunners do go by the choose. Yeah, it's kind of down to an individual person. There's like you find some timing mechanism that works every time. But yeah, I've done a slight modification to the crow method, which works 100% of the time. And I've said this once, and I'm going to say it a million other times. I'm going to make a guide video on how to do it.
Let's go do it after
the
race. Just go make a video after the race.
Also, if you didn't see me, I was streaming it earlier for like 20 minutes because I discovered Dark Nut Manip. So you can save after picking up your big key in Dark Hyrule Castle, and I found a consistent Manip for doing the Dark Nuts, and you get the same fight every time, and you can do the fight in 15 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, I need to learn that, because that fight is terrible, and if you have a way to make it easy...
Now, I know I showed off how to do Octo Manip. I think Dark Nut Manip is way more practical than Octo Manip, because you're definitely going to be doing Dark Nut Manip every single seed you do.
Yeah, you quick warp after getting the boss key anyways, so... Safe warping instead to get a Manip is probably not that much slower, and if it makes the fight really 15 seconds, that's definitely worth.
Okay, Rom has his big key, and he's got 2 small keys. He doesn't need to do Pop Push Puzzle now, he can completely skip it. Oh, he's gonna do it. Even if there is a small key here, he doesn't need to do Pop Push. He's guaranteed to have enough small keys in the rest of the dungeon. Yeah, and it was just junk on Pop Push, so unfortunately...
Yeah, but if you're not sure about the key logic and...
Yeah, if you're unsure of key logic for Palace of Winds, then you don't want to risk it.
You don't want to come back here, so...
But yeah, under the key logic that he's at, the game guarantees that you have 2 keys by the time you've 2 small keys when you reach the top of Palace of Winds the first time around. Also, to be able to go mode this dungeon, you'd need 4 small keys to be able to go directly from the start of the dungeon to the boss room. There are 6 keys in total, so the worst case scenario is that there's a small key on Pot Push Puzzle, and there's also a small key on the fan loop. Even under that worst case scenario for where small keys are, you can still completely avoid opening and wasting small keys at the very top of the dungeon and just go mode your way through the dungeon. Because since he'd already picked up his big key, and that made it so that he's fine.
Yeah, he needs one more small key, but he's gonna find that somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the other small key that he was guaranteed to have. There could be a small key on this fight. But he sat on 3 keys found in this dungeon out of 6, and he just needs to find one more.
The important thing is that he didn't open that door, so he will actually only need 4 keys.
Oh yeah, I think Fuzzy did fall off the path here. Fuzzy's doing Palace of Winds vanilla. This is something that you never see in Randomizer, because the only reason why you do this is if Cape is vanilla. He's gambling that the Cape's vanilla right now, and unfortunately it's not. The Cape is in Castor Wilds. So he's going to be spending a lot of time going through this.
But imagine if the Force-Sword was here in the Wizrobes and the Cape was in the garden.
Oh my god,
this would be the play. And the seed has been bad enough to him that he could be thinking like, yeah, that's probably what to do.
And Rom finds his last key.
So at this point he shouldn't go check any more checks, he should just go.
Yep,
No,
he has
straight to the boss.
He has all the small keys he needs to open the small locked doors on the way to the boss, and just head directly there. He is on 3 hearts, which should be fine. There are hearts and fairies that you can get along the way.
If you know where they are.
Yeah, if you know where they are. He has been doing commentary for the last few seeds, so he has seen runners get the fairies that are available in this dungeon.
So he's not.
Okay, he's gonna do the kill here. He's not gonna find anything important in this chest. Maybe he's hoping for a heart piece or something like that to fill.
That could be the
Many
case.
heart pieces left, like
Yeah, there's not many.
maybe
though.
6 left that he doesn't have. I think he was at 2 out of 4.
Yeah, maybe he's just found all of the heart containers, and that's why he's on 18 hearts. But yeah, it's not really much. Not many heart pieces or heart containers that could full heal him right now. Okay, Fuzzy has finished in Palace of Winds, and he's going to Castor.
He needs to do hiking here and then go to Fort.
Hopefully, he checks all of the checks here in Castor, and the last check that he does will be his cape in the hiking spot.
And then hopefully he will go get his 4 swords.
It's incredibly difficult for Fuzzy to make it back at this point. It's nearly impossible. Rom would have to really awful
Like if
bad
Rom
luck and
doesn't
execution.
open
for
the red
rest of
warp
it.
here and then dies to Georg and then
Yeah.
dies to Vati once, might still be ahead.
Yeah, Rom doesn't want to die here. Is he gonna get the fairies? Yes, he is. He knows about where this fairy spot is. There we go. Okay, that's a lot of health for Rom. He should be good. Oh, he has 2 fairies in bottles.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, okay,
he's
so he's fine.
He's fine. Yeah, so when Fuzzy finds his cape, he's still not going to be in go mode. He's still looking for the Force Sword.
And he's
When's-
probably going straight back to Palace at that point.
Yeah, he's probably going to go straight to Palace, and then he's going to have a full clear Palace as well, so that's just going to make him spend even longer than what Rom's had to do. Okay, Rom's going to play this safe, farm some hearts before we go into Georg. Don't want to be dying on this boss. Now, does Rom have downstrike?
I'm pretty sure he picked that up. Like,
Yeah.
I think that was the fountain heart piece. Might have been another one, but I think I saw him pick that up.
But he's definitely got the great spin, so this is going to speed it. It's going to help make this fight really consistent. He doesn't do the spin attack fast enough. If you properly time a spin attack, you can get the blue Georg there. But yeah, he spins slightly too late.
So
that's
can
why
you
he
also do the down thrust straight on the sideways layout for big
Yes,
round?
you can. He's too low there. He needs to do it slightly higher. There should be good. Yep.
Okay.
Gets the
So it's not centered on the eye, but
yeah, it's not
just like,
centered.
yeah. Okay.
Vertically, you have to be on the third row from the bottom. Yeah, if he does a great spin on the back of the blue Georg, then he should be able to. Okay, he gets the spin attack off and then jumps off of his back to get back onto the red Georg. He's going for the downstrike strats here, working fantastically. That was the third cycle on Georg, and if you know the Georg fight, the third cycle is awful because when you try and create your clones, the blue one is always just flying across the back of the red one and breaking your clones. So just using the downstrike there makes it so much easier, not having to deal with having to create clones. Yeah, Rom's getting bullied by the blue Georgs here. The blue Georgs.
It's good though. He still has some theories, so he won't get screwed too much.
Yeah, even if he does die, he is going to be revived by a fairy.
Yep.
Okay. He's on the final cycle now. This is the fourth stage. And that is the fight over. Why didn't the blue one die? What?
Yeah, like when you said it was the last thing, I was like, no, it's not. The blue one's still alive.
No, he did. That was it. He did the third and then the fourth cycle. But the thing is, when he got off he rolled off the blue one when it died, but it didn't. It made it not die. Yeah.
We found glitch.
Yeah, see. This is why I don't roll off the back of the blue one because it glitches out the fight. Nesman does this all the time, and it's like always surprised when it's like gone glitchy. Hey, so I'm not taking blame
to make
that.
Dog fight harder on yourself.
Okay,
Did Fuzzy just run past the cape?
No, Fuzzy! Fuzzy, stop skipping checks!
I mean, he's gonna pick up his great spin this way,
Please.
which he maybe would have skipped if he did them the other way around. But
there's the great spin.
Oh my.
Don't quick warp.
Fuzzy, if you quick warp, I'm gonna feel so bad for you.
If he quick warps, it's GG. Okay, he's not. He's going back for it. He saw the chest.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he saw the chest and was like, oh, I should have got that. Yeah, you get the chest first before going through.
Always get your first chest in here, bro.
Okay. Now, his last item is in Fortress of Winds, but he's not going to go there. He's going to go up to Palace of Winds. Yeah, he's going for Palace. He's going, right, my full sword's going to be there. And unfortunately, it's not.
From his situation, at this point, that's what you just do. But he should have full clear Fortress when he was there.
Yeah, Rom's in DHC. Fuzzy's doing the start of Palace of Winds. Fuzzy's not going to find his 4 sword by the time Rom's done at this rate. Yeah, so let's get our tower bets up. So, we make a bet on how many towers in Dark Hyrule Castle are going to be required for this seed. There are 5 small keys in Dark Hyrule Castle, and we find one of the small keys really early on, and then there are, we get to the second half of Dark Hyrule Castle where there are 4 towers that we need to check, and we want to know how many of those towers are going to have small keys, and which towers are they going to be. Yeah, the towers are in the 4 corners, north, east, northwest, southeast, and southwest.
Oh, I guess we need to set up a bet on the
Yeah, we need to get
first.
the bot to open
Yeah,
the bet.
I imagine Trent can do that.
Trent should be able to do that.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go. I'm just gonna be the...
No, you're not allowed to take my bet. That is my bet every time. Subordination.
Nick, everyone can have their own bet if they want. Just not you.
If you're too slow, Myth.
But I'm gonna be the one that just says this. It's gonna be 4.
Okay, what have we got? Okay, we've got 1 small key here. We don't have,
Hey, someone gave me a sub. Thank you.
Oh no, Fuzzy.
It's not another cape jump, so...
Fuzzy didn't want to do cape jump today. This is gonna really, really hurt Fuzzy having to go through this. Rom just having a few goes at this. No, that's not.
No, that doesn't work.
Come on, Rom.
There we go.
That works.
Right, he's got fast spin and fast charge, so this route should be fairly easy. You do want to be charging your sword as you enter the room, though, if you've got your full, your fully charged 4 sword with spin, the fast spin and fast charge, because then you can skip the cycle there and open this chest earlier.
I'm gonna be so laughing when I see that 4 towers are...
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
at this point it's 3 or 4.
Well, we haven't gotten a second key yet, so...
So
Yeah, that's
not
why-
doing the cape jump in Palace of Winds. If you fail the cape jump 3 times and reset the room and climb up that the clouds 3 times, it's the same amount of time as going the long way round. But that is having to reset the room again 3 times. with the platform moving side to side, it's probably somewhere about 10 tries. If you don't reset the room over and over again, you just keep on having a go. Alright, after this Darknut fight, we're going to get our last item here before we go to the section where we go to all of the towers. What is the last item going to be? And it's a small key, so it's 3 towers required.
I was hoping for 4.
Now we're just going to find out which 3 of the towers are going to have a small key. We've already picked up the map, and did we find the compass? Was the compass on the king, or was it junk?
I want to say it was junk, but I'm not sure.
Oh, we must have had a lot of guesses for 3. So we had not southwest.
Yeah, we got all 4
you,
possibilities.
Fuzzy.
Not southeast, not southwest. Sorry, not northwest, and not northeast. Yeah, all of them have been guessed. So we are guaranteed a winner. Yeah, Fuzzy skipped Pot Push Puzzle, which is going to pay off for him, but he's also used up his small keys here to check these items.
He's still looking for the 4 sword, which...
He is looking for his 4 sword.
Makes sense to do this.
That is long Great Spin, so we know Rom doesn't have that. His Great Spin's only going to be the short version.
Yeah, unless that was like... I don't know, there's probably some weird order in which you pick up spin attacks, in which case you could still have that, but I don't think we have that received.
Yeah, I think all the spin attacks were picked up in the same order of progression. Oh no, Rom, you're in the center of the room. You wanna, when you kill those chain soldiers, you don't want to be standing in the middle of the room because it makes you immediately go onto the portal, and then you have to ride the portal back to get back. Oh, and he tries to get
And he missed the bomb.
Trying to put the bomb down on the wall. Oh, this sucks. Yeah, there we go. He gets it. Sometimes you're against the wall when you're literally making Link walk up into the wall and you're mashing the bomb button and it just won't place
Yeah, I
any
don't
bombs.
think you can place bombs while you're actually pushing against the wall.
Well, because the platform's moving, you can't push against the block, but you're pressing up to make sure that you're like walking as close to it as possible.
Well, he did do the push animation there, so...
Oh, did he do the push animation then? Yeah.
And that does prevent you from dropping bombs, which is...
Tapping any diagonal should stop you from doing the push animation. He doesn't get the quick kill on the Black Knight, but he does a very fast fight for it anyway. So Rom's strategy is going to be using the remote bombs on the Dark Nuts, and also rolling through them and using the roll attack to get kills on them when they have their back turned.
So northwest was a small key?
Yeah, northwest was a small key. Now, Fuzzy's moving. Not Fuzzy. Rom's moving on to the north east tower. Has to deal with 2 regular dark nuts first. Combination of remote bombs and roll attack working out really well for him. And there's another small key. So it's one of the southerns. Who's still in it? So it's...
I know I am. And...
I'm gonna say it's gonna be the longest
Nimbus
one,
is
so
our trackers today are...
Yeah, both of the trackers could be... Either one of our trackers is going to be correct, so it's...
I'm just gonna say it's gonna be southeast.
Not rigged.
You just gotta guess right.
It's not rigged, I totally didn't have access to the seed before.
Maybe. Unless he begged Shrint to give him the seed.
Did you beat the seed faster
No, I
than
didn't.
them while tracking and commentating?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
So you beat in under an hour? Is that what you're saying?
Why would I need to beat in under an hour? Like, I just needed to beat at about the same rate as Rom-Steïn. Since
You're right.
I had to wait like a minute or so before.
True.
And then there's the 15-minute delay.
So who was what?
But it's
it
not
was-
over yet.
Yes, it is. You got the from the southwest one.
Oh, right. Okay. So who was it?
You did get it from.
Whoever said not southeast. I think that was Nimbus.
It
then.
was Nimbus.
Yeah, Nimbus
It was
wins.
the southwest edge, right?
I'm guessing. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, Nimbus posted the not like this, which is confusing me. And
I'm hearing
was
southwest.
the
Shrint.
Whoever said not southeast.
wait, which town was? Yeah,
I
you got
don't
the key
know.
from southwest, right?
The key was southwest, right?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Nimbus confusing all of us by mixing up the towers.
Meanwhile,
wait a minute, Hero
Rom-Steïn
seed.
has finished up Dark Horror Castle. He's got all of his small keys, got the big key, and is making his way through the gauntlet to the Batty fights. First of all, he does need to finish off these Dark Knights before he can head on to the Batty fights.
You only need like 3 bombs for Vati 3, so he's fine on bombs.
Yeah, didn't he go southeast? Because he did the tile room.
Is that the southeast? What?
That is southeast.
Okay then. Then...
No, that's southwest. I don't know
Oh
why
my
it's
god,
west.
Nick, quit confusing us!
It is southwest. It's bottom left.
Yeah, okay.
Check my Nick, please.
Someone was like, wait, no, it's...
Don't confuse the restreamer. How am I doing when I can understand what you're saying?
I don't know cardinal directions, okay? I can do up, left, right, and down, but I can't do north, east, south, west. I always get confused.
Do you need to restudy your compass?
So this tournament is it's a single game, but it's a double elimination tournament. So at the moment we're in the first round and everyone is in the upper bracket. So anyone who loses their first round match isn't knocked out of the tournament. They go down to the lower bracket. Yeah, Rom getting really unfortunate there with a 5-cycle Vati 1. Yeah, Vati was just teleporting every single time he tried to set up his attacks. But Rom is now on to Vati 2. Is he going... Yes, he's going for the cape strats, so you can use down strike here to get the first cycle of Vati done. Oh, Vati moves the second that he does the attack. Okay, he gets it. All you need to do is a couple of sword slashes and then that is done. That is the first stage of Vati 2. Now moving on to Vati, onto stage 2. Now stage 2 you do want to create clones, you don't want to do the down strike. With your clones, you want to do a spin attack to be able to do the second stage in one go. He gets that. Now he's on the last stage. You can tell this is the last stage because Vati 2 moves around really quickly.
So how does the damage on Vati between the stages actually work? Like, you enter, like, I know you have, I know your guide for how to do it up, but if you, like, Vati decides to troll you and destroys your clones right as you hit the eyes, how does the damage work so that you're still...
He doesn't get the spin attack. Okay, so there are 3 stages to Vati 2, and he has a set amount of HP per stage. That you need to reduce that down to 0 to be able to progress him onto the next stage. In the final stage, his health is... It's a weird bugged number, which is basically exactly the same as a spin attack from all 4 of your clones. It takes it down to 0, but it doesn't register the spin attack as being the last hit to finish the fight, so that's why you have to turn around and do a single sword slash to do the fight in 3 cycles.
So if you already did some damage and then do a spin attack with all 4 clones, you still have to hit him again, because the spin attack is weird like that, or...
I think so. I've never tried to do a spin attack in the...
I think I've done it, and I would say no.
Okay.
So, in logic, you have to just spin that. You have to do the spin attack first, then the fly.
And the down strike strat works the easiest when all of the eyes are on the bottom. It works on any other pattern, but it's slightly harder to do on the other ones. But you don't really want to be doing it on any other cycle than the first cycle, because in the second and third cycles, you want your clones to be able to do enough damage to Vati to progress the fight. If you don't have clones up in the second or third cycle, then you just can't do enough damage to Vati in that time that he's vulnerable. But Rom has moved on to Vati 3 now. He's done the first part of the fight where you need to break his arms and go inside and kill the eyes that are there. And now it's time to play tennis. So he's created his clones and volleyed the first shot back. And he's going for the remote bomb strats. Throwing the remote bomb at Vati does enough damage to progress the fight. We need to do that 2 more times, a total of 3 times to be able to finish this fight off. Gets the second one. The explosion from the remote bomb is all that's needed to be able to progress the fight to the next stage. He's now on the final stage. And he's lined up perfectly. Oh! And GG to Rom-Steïn. He tried to throw the remote bombs at the end, but decided to just roll in and slash.
Yeah, I think he failed to grab it and then decided to just go slash him twice to be on the safe side.
Yeah, unfortunately, Fuzzy at the moment is now doing Georg, and still it hasn't reached his go mode. He is looking for his 4 swords somewhere. He's just seen that Rom-Steïn's finished. So all of this was done on a 15-minute delay. So our runners have actually finished 15 minutes ago, and they are now waiting for us in the waiting room. So let's invite them in now.
FuzzyGames has apparently decided not to come in front of you just now, so... But we should be joined by Rom-Steïn.
Yep.
Whenever Trent decides to put them in.
And we have Rom-Steïn here. GG.
Hello, thanks for GG's that I don't know if I deserve. First of all, sorry Myth, I couldn't show the Octo Manip like you told me you wanted to see earlier. And second, I'm
forgot to put the full sword on him.
Yeah, and I'm really sorry because through the end of the run from Georg to Vati, I got bothered by my family because, well, my sister has a motivation later to write, and of course she's doing it only now and she needs my help, of course. I don't know why. So at the start of the Georg, I was going for the strat I use normally. Then she entered and she spoke during the whole fight. Fortunately, my mic wasn't on. And then I said, oh, well, screw it, I'm doing Cape Swag.
Yeah, Cape strats are the way to go. They are so much easier.
Yeah.
And I think the fastest as well if you have the downstrike.
It feels the fastest, yeah. Well, in a sense, it's fortunate that I got annoyed at this time, so I switched strats, but they also came back during the HC, and I botched a lot of strats in the HC, and, well, too bad. The only thing I'm really happy that I gambled the right towers.
Yeah, you did.
And, okay, there's one thing that comes to mind right now. I don't know if it was the case, but if you were watching my stream, you could see my face and my reactions. Who rolled this seed?
Yeah, it was me. You knew it was me.
Myth.
I knew it, Myth, and I wasn't even here for the whole thing.
Welcome to Myth Seeds.
Okay, who do you think rolled false kinstone into flippers, into Gastra, into into boots, into cape sequence?
At the beginning, when I entered Cave of Flame, I was feeling like, well, after Cave of Flames, I don't have any dungeon in logic. I must have missed either the boots or the cape. I missed it in the first spheres. And was like, I'm so behind because of this, I'm an idiot. And then I found the flippers. Then later, way later, I found the cape. I was like, what the? Okay, it was just a myth did. Okay. Well,
nice
what can I say? What can I say more? Well, GG to FuzzyGames too, because I saw the end of the stream. He was not so far behind. He was doing Georg. He was in Gomod, I think.
No, he wasn't in
No,
go
he
mode.
was missing his force sword.
Was
Yeah.
missing the force
He
sword?
kept dipping out and like would not going back to Fortress. Because what he did is he went in the Fortress, did the fight, and then he completely dipped out and
Oh,
didn't do the back.
I see. So, well, I was lucky. I gambled Royal Volley 2 days in a row. Seriously. No,
Yeah.
not 2 days in a row, but 2 days ago during the race, it was last sword on the Gibdo in Royal Crypt. This time,
yesterday.
I gambled the same, and I was like, I did Royal Crypt first, and nope. And then I saw the force sword like flying. I'm like, I really did Royal Crypt first, really? Okay.
Yeah, we were wondering that, and it was like, when you opened it, it was like, okay, you're just dipping to see what the Gibdo was, but then you went and full cleared it, and it was like,
Yeah.
the other checks are so fast.
I mean, I know the king can have something, and I don't know why I checked Royal Crypt before the graveyard. I honestly don't know why it flew my mind like this. I was like, well, just in case it's like the 2 days ago, I don't want to full clear the graveyard. I'm going in and, well, I realized halfway that, wait, I could have just done everything. It's faster to do the graveyard than Royal Crypt, and I was like, oh, well, might as well clear it now that I'm inside.
Yeah, so the right at the beginning of the seed, you were the first to find the bomb bag in the school, in the roof of the shop, and then that made you go over to up Mount Cradle and do Cave of Flames as your first dungeon. But when you've beat Gleerock and completed Cave of Flames, Fuzzy had just found his bomb bag there. He really struggled at the beginning trying to find where his bomb bag was.
Yeah, I see.
And then, about halfway through the seeds, he was catching up on you, and he dipped into the graveyard. He didn't go into the graveyard because he didn't have his boots at the time, but he went to the end and found the first Cloudtop's kinstone that was there.
Yeah,
so
that's unfortunate.
For a very long time that you had to go there to find it, and then finally, when you were 2 items from Go mode, you found that one there, and then you went further into the graveyard, and then you found your last Cloudtop's kinstone for Go mode.
Yeah, like really, when I found the Cloudtop kinstone in the Royal Volley, I wondered, do I leave now, gambling there's nothing else in the Royal Volley, because it was unlikely that I was looking for the kinstones, and I said, well, better playing safe, and well, I'm glad I played safe. You see, in the War Run, I always play ultra safe, like always get all my bottles filled with fairies. Actually, I wanted to get Neru's Charm too, just to be extra safe, because I really like noob strats. And when I left the town, I was like, oh, I forgot Neru. Well, too bad. Yes, I'm that kind of noob.
Yeah, so you what did you have at the end to check after the graveyard? Was it literally just Temple of Droplets and Cloudtops?
Literally all Cloudtops.
Yeah.
The Myth's Cave in Crenol.
Yeah.
Which I believe had a bomb bag.
Yeah, we just saw it on Fuzzy. He's doing some checks post race now, and he's just got a bomb bag there.
I see. And what did I miss? I don't know. I think it was the only thing. I was really happy because I was expecting to find my last kinstone on the way to Cloudtops or in Cloudtops themselves. And when I found the Cloudtops, I realized, well, that's Cloudtops Go mode. And at first I was kind of nervous because wait, do I know the way to only the fusions? And I kinda rooted it on the fly. if I may say so.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as the regular route. I think you pretty much nailed it. You didn't do any extra tornado uses than you needed to.
The only thing I did not nail was the final jump between the two last, before the last Kingstone.
Oh, yeah.
I failed twice before getting the jump.
I don't think it's any faster to try and go for that jump. I think you can.
Yeah, you can just go down there since you need to go down for the next platform anyway. So.
Yeah, and then there's a smaller jump that you can do much easier.
Yeah. I mean, at the beginning, I thought the two fusions were side to side, so I made the jump, and then I oh no, I actually have to go down, and I felt stupid again.
So, what was your thought process when you were doing Temple of Droplets?
What?
When you went into Temple of Droplets, what was your thought process through there? Because you found your Gust Jar, your Power Bracelets, and the Castle Wilds Kinstone there, and then you decided to go onto the right-hand side.
Yeah. So at the time, I was thinking both rupee spots are in logic, and rupee spots are a lot of checks.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go at least to the second rupee spots, and in the first one, like the first checks on the left, I found, as you said, Gust Jar and Power Bracelets, and I kid you not, on my stream, I was like, what?
Yeah, we saw your reactions the whole time. I don't think people watching the stream could see it, watching the restream, but us in the commentary box, we saw your reactions the whole time.
So you were seeing that coming when I came and asked who brought the seed. By obvious. So, if I'm not mistaken, my next opponent is Pick-a-Pulse.
Let's check out the schedule. Right, I should actually need to mark the game match not only in progress but actually finished.
Your next opponent is Pick-a-Pulse. Fuzzy is going against.
You'll be playing against Pick-a-Pulse.
I'm not expecting it to be as easy, of course. It's going to be much harder. I'm going against the seeded player, someone who always defeated me when we raced the same room. Not the same at all.
Yeah, and Fuzzy's next opponent will be the loser of Nesman versus Carson, which I believe they haven't scheduled yet, but we're thinking about not next weekend, but the one after. As for other matches on the schedule, I don't know which of these might get restreams, but there's a round 2 match tomorrow between Arizona and Hendrix. And then next week we have another couple matches scheduled.
So I'm gonna hop in, say something. This doesn't wait tournament, but it is happening between these two next upcoming matches. And before I say that, Myth, do you have the seed ready?
Well, for tomorrow.
Because we need that ready. Your time to have it ready on the 30th for my Plando for the Sogo that we read.
Plando, okay.
Yes, the Plando is happening on the 30th. So
Did I hear?
In between these two matches.
Did I hear what I heard?
Yeah, I'm doing a Plando that is made by Myth and Dax.
Alright, me and Dax actually have to make that, okay.
Wow.
So I'm just going to set the time that we start this for around the same time that we normally start the Minish Cap weekly. So we'll be starting at 2 p.m. Eastern. So if y'all want to see me get utterly trolled by Myth and that seed and see a lot of softbots, be sure to catch that. because it's gonna be a lot of fun. I will have Arrow Razor alongside me as a commentator. So yeah, I already am aware a lot of people are looking forward to this, so I expect to see a lot of people. I know Mip and Dax are enjoying, are waiting to enjoy me, do a lot of dumb.
I mean, for sure, we all enjoy this. So.
Oh, I love watching Mip seeds.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right,
We
so
all
I'm
do.
rolling more seeds for the tournament, okay?
Yeah, you're now ordered. You're not banned. You're banned from being banned.
What? Okay.
That's not how that works.
If that makes sense.
No, change. We'll change it later. As soon as I finish the Plando,
It works.
he's automatically banned from rolling Plandos.
Sure, that's how it works.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we're now halfway through the first round of the Minish Cap tournament. We've had over half of we've had 5 of the first 9 matches, and hopefully next week we're gonna get the rest of those first round matches done before moving on to round 2. But we're actually gonna jump ahead, and tomorrow is going to be Allison versus Hendris, which is going to be the first round 2 match. Hendris won their first match, which was the first match of the tournament, and will be playing against Allison, who was seeded in the tournament.
And on the not the Minish Cap Randomizer side, on the Zelda Speedrun side actually, we're gonna have a match about now on Zelda Speedruns 2, which we're gonna rate because there's the Wind Waker Randomizer. So
Oh, that's right.
we will go over there, but first of all, make sure to follow our lovely commentators for today. Myth, iBotter2, who jumped in for Just Hayden, who took a bit longer of a nap, but he joined us a bit later.
It was too sleepy.
It's totally fine. It's totally fine.
Yep.
And also to our trackers, iBot, thanks again for that, and Nimbus 125 or 125. And also do not forget our runners, Rom-Steïn and FuzzyGames. Make sure to follow these runners, because they did an awesome match. And with that said, we are probably going over to Zelda Speedruns 2. Any last questions or sayings to our lovely chat?
See you next time.
It's just
Thanks for watching.
keep on enjoying this. 'Cause it's gonna be a while before we get to the end.
With that said, thanks everyone and goodbye.